And I'd kind of like to point out that this is exactly how the whole Jay's a dickhole hashtag got started. We're literally about to go live, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta go take a leak real quick. I'll be right back." And then he got up and he left the room. I started the stream without him, and then as such, Jerry comes back, sits down in his chair, and that's how Jay's a dickhole was born. Yes, I started the stream without you.
You did not.
I did. We're live right now.
You're lying.
I'm not. I was actually showing everyone this is how hashtag Jay's a dickhole started. I started the stream without you because you were like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
But it's only 4:59.
No, there was 12 seconds left on the stream countdown.
God damn it, Jay.
Hey, don't you say those words.
You didn't really start it, did you?
I did. Look at the stream.
You're damn it, now I gotta go check the stream.
Do you see it? You're not even there. There you go. You're bumping in now, like boom, 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 boom. Sit down, and then there we go. Yes, I started it without you.
Jay, why do you gotta be like that?
Because that's what friends do. They just like to sit there and completely rag on each other.
I have everyone's like today too. You notice that?
You did what now?
I have a slightly different camera angle today. I like lowered my camera because it was up in front of my screens every time I stream, so I put it down a little lower this time.
But you're gonna look at your monitors now, and everyone's gonna call it nostril cam again. You do have some flaring nostrils.
I do. I got some big old nostrils. If somebody out there has a nostril fetish, I'm sure that they're like really enjoying my channel.
I can't really do that nostril thing.
If you could, I'd be concerned, Jay.
I'm trying.
Oh.
Doesn't work very well. That's some very ugly faces. Okay. What's up, guys? Jay here, and we're at TechTalk, number 115. 115 episodes of this crap.
This just makes me feel old.
That's dedication when you're like, I'm going to give 115 episodes of mediocrity. Mediocrity.
Totally. Mediocrity?
Mediocrity. Yeah. No, mediocrity. That is idiocracy and mediocrity together. That is exactly what we are. And with that, I'm going to roll the intro.
Jay's making up words again. This guy over here.
The intro is going.
The document so far just says huge penis and dongle.
That's all playing over the.
That's the entire document, guys. We actually created a document for the show, and those are the only words in the document right now. This is excellent.
Well, I knew if I put notes in there and the two NVIDIA topics I want to talk about today, you just would have been like, whatever. That's hardware. I don't do hardware.
No, it's going to turn into just a giant, hour and a half of GPU talk. And you know what? I'm okay with that, Jay.
No, it's not going to be an hour and a half of GPU talk, but there are a couple of important things I want to talk about, honestly, with this whole GPUs thing.
You literally ran the intro while I was talking, didn't you?
I said it like 3 times. I said it out loud. Like the intro's going, and you're just like, there's penis and dongle, blah, blah, blah. That was the intro.
I almost spit water all over my keyboard, you asshole.
That was the intro. I was like, the intro's going. You're like, oh, look, the document only says penis and dongle.
Dude, I think your new microphone's broken. Because you were like,
No, I think your internet's broken.
No, my internet is supreme.
Your internet is literally bridged together with duct tape, rubber bands, and a hamster wheel.
It is MacGyver internet. I will give you that. But it works. It works for me.
So you just put a video live, and I want to point out I'm very impressed that you got that video live, considering you were working on it when I was there exactly 1 week ago.
It's like a congratulations and a stab all at the same time.
Fun fact. I was there in Seattle a week ago. The wife and I were on vacation with the kids, and we decided to go visit Uncle Jerry. Mm-hmm. And while we were there, Jerry's wife was like, hey, we're going to the zoo on Sunday. You guys want to go? I'm like, yeah, hit us up on Saturday, and we'll see. And of course, Saturday, I tell the wife, I'm like, hey, text Jerry's wife and see if we're still on for Sunday. And I hear, well, Jerry's still working on his video. I'm like, okay, yes, that means no to the zoo.
Hey, to be fair, I said we could meet after lunch, but I needed the morning. But apparently, the morning wasn't enough.
You needed you needed Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday
and afternoon and night, and I don't know. Sometimes I work on a video Now, this is you probably never have this problem, but do you ever get into a video halfway and then you run into something that's just a critically blocking issue that you just have to figure out before you can proceed, or do you just work around it and then just circle back and figure it out later?
That happens all the time. I just don't go public about it. Oh, I went to do this video and I ran into the problems. I just move on to the next thing I can do and then come back to that one.
See, my OCD God, I cannot do that. until I get that complete end-to-end process, I can't do anything
Uncle Jerry Bear?
Uncle Jerry Bears?
Uncle Jerry Bear. Uncle Jerry Bear. No, Adam Malone, my youngest, can't really talk other than a few words. And little Jay knows better than to call him Uncle Jerry.
Yeah.
He's like creepy Uncle Jerry.
I'm creepy Uncle Jerry. She'd probably break my fingers, too. Hey, you want to tell everybody about that?
Oh, yeah, little Jay broke my finger on vacation.
Yeah,
so,
your little ninja?
Yeah, no, ninjas are Japanese, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, man, now it just became racist.
She does Taekwondo sport, that their Korean sport. Anyway, when we were waiting for the duck boat tour, we took one of them amphibious vehicle tours around Seattle, and it goes in the water, and it stayed afloat. That was amazing. We were waiting in line for that, and I was practicing... Little Jay was practicing her kicks, and I put down my hand to block her kick, and well, she kicks a lot harder than I realized, and she done snapped my knuckle and my middle finger.
You done got kicked.
You can kind of see on the camera it's a little bit crooked. She broke it right, and it sticks out right there. She broke it right there. Yep.
She busted you up, man.
It went crack and everything, and she felt.
You were like proud of that too. As a dad, you were just like.
No, I was, and that's why I put it on my personal Facebook post. I did that Ron Jeremy meme where it was like, I'm not even mad. In fact, I'm impressed, and it's funny too because she realized like the next day which finger it was, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's your bad finger too." I'm like, "What do you mean my bad finger?" She's like, "It's your middle one." I was like, "I know. How am I going to drive now?"
Yeah, no, people are going to be so confused when you stick your crooked finger and point it at them.
Anyway. All right, so let's just jump right into it here.
Let's do it.
I put in there GPU pricing is out of control, and the reason why I say that, you guys can see I've got a stack of. Well, that wasn't a fart.
I'm mad. I'm mad about it. No, I don't buy GPUs. I don't buy GPUs, but I'm mad about it.
Be mad. That's a stack of new GPUs over there, right? 1080s, 1070s, and all that.
Yes.
And I got yesterday, I think it was, I got the Gigabyte, day before yesterday, I got the Gigabyte 1080 G1 Gaming, and I also received the EVGA 1070 SC superclocked. And then I got the email that goes along with it, like here's all the information for the 1070. And it was like a blanket email. It goes out to all the reviewers, right? Because EVGA sends out the cards, and they send out like a BCC list to everybody who's getting one. It's like, hey, your card's on the way. Here's all of the information about the cards. Here's the tech specs. Here's what's different. Here's the cooler. Blah blah blah. And then there was no pricing in there, so I messaged and was like, hey, what's the price on this? And they're like, oh, hey, sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's $439. And I'm like, $439? Really? Okay, and so I kind of went on a little bit of spiel with Jacob DVG. I'm like, where are the $379 1070s we were told? And here's my problem with this pricing model. And we were a little bit concerned about this as reviewers when NVIDIA showed its pricing model with there being a founder's price and then there being like an MSRP, right? And I think I even mentioned it, Jerry, when you and I talked about it, that it shouldn't be called MSRP. It should be called MAP, or minimum advertised price. Basically saying you guys shouldn't go lower than this price because no one's launching MSRP priced cards. I think MSI might have one. It's like a very generic blower style cooler on a reference style PCB. But so far, I've yet to see anybody actually doing any sort of MSRP pricing on this stuff. And here's why I think this is happening. So we've got Founders Card, which is in the past been referred to as reference card or the base card. It really has always been known as the base card. And as manufacturers come up with their custom boards, they're not going to look at them as being lesser than a Founders card. They're going to look at their board designs as going, this is an improvement on Founders. So naturally, they're going to want to charge more than Founders. Is that fair to say, Jerry?
I think that's a fair assessment.
Whoa, your mic volume just went to shit.
Oh, did it?
Oh, it's coming back. I think your Skype had an issue there. So let's say you're a manufacturer, right? You're manufacturer, you're Jay's GPU, okay? And you make a 1080 and you go, my 1080 is better than a Founders. So you're going to want to charge more than a Founders. So nobody's really using the pricing model that NVIDIA put out. And that's the part that...
If you sell a cheaper card, everybody's going to assume the Founders card is better because you look at it and you're going to be like, well, it costs like $50 or $100 more, so it must be better.
Okay, well...
I'm just talking about like the general consensus of people that don't do research. They just automatically assume something is awesome because it's expensive.
I know those people exist. Obviously, there's lots of those people. I think those are people that would walk into like a Fry's or a Micro Center, grab it off a shelf, right? But
for the most part, yes.
I think you would have to agree that our followers don't really fall in that category.
No, they're like the thriftiest people on earth. So
most of our followers saw right through the Founders pricing model. But what we were afraid of, and we talked about it, and I talked about it with other reviewers at the NVIDIA event in Austin last month, was, is anyone going to price their cards under Founders, or are they going to just price it at Founders or maybe higher? Well, guys, MSI GTX 1080 Gaming X is priced at like $750. It's $50 more than the Founders.
Jeez.
So, yeah, I think the pricing model now is all screwed up, and a lot of people sort of shouted that at me when I did my initial reviews on Founders and I talked about what Founders pricing was. A lot of people were like, Jay, come on, no one's going to price their card under Founders pricing, and I think that that's unfortunate. Now, the 1080 SC is less than Founders. I think it was $679, I think it was. But that's still $79 higher than the $600 MSRP.
What about Zotac? Have they released one yet?
They have the amp, which, and if you guys hear the pops, I don't have a pop filter yet on my new mic. Look, I got a new mic. I can touch the cable. Look at that. I'm wiggling the cable, Jerry.
Oh my
Look,
God.
I'm wiggling it. Do you hear that?
And my ears are not like completely destroyed. I love it.
I know. It's an AT2035 if you guys are curious. Just one up from Jerry. Just want to point that out real quick. So anyway, yeah, I got a new mic. Look at that. I can touch the cable and it doesn't kill you guys. And to be honest, it kills me too when I touch it. That's why I did it. Anyway. So if you guys like the sound of this mic, let me know. I think it sounds pretty good. Jerry thinks it sounds good.
I think it sounds good.
Sounds great. It sounds amazing. Anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm really kind of upset with the pricing because that makes this the most expensive generation of a video card, both for 70 and 80 ever.
Which is weird because the whole idea I thought was for cost versus performance. It was supposed to be like incredibly cheap.
The EVGA 1080 for the win is $679. That's what someone's saying.
It's very
for the win is
confusing to me.
$679. Okay, so then pricing of the SCs. What is the pricing of the SC? Because remember, guys, I got my cards before they were actually out. So there might have been last minute switches when it comes to the retail pricing of that. But I'm pretty sure that I was sent links that people were showing where the Gaming X was available, and depending on where you lived, it was upwards of $750. So, which is another thing. Apparently, there's an article out saying that the availability of 1080s is not going to improve until like the end of July, and we're now in the middle of June. And to put it into retrospect, the owner of Red Mist has just been like unable to find any 1080 cards. Period. I mean, it's like the website's Newegg goes up. They get new stock. You get a stock notification, right? Because on Newegg, you can sign up for notify me when stock improves.
Yeah.
He gets notified. He goes to the website, logs in. He's like, oh, there's some. Puts it in the cart, goes to pay for it, and by the time he can pay for it, it's like, oh, sorry, these items are no longer available. Like, that's how fast they're selling. It's ridiculous.
Well, that kind of justifies why the price is where it's at, too, is obviously if demand is far outweighing what's there, even with an MSRP in place, unless it's being forced like Apple does with the price fixing on their products and stuff like that, it seems to me that they're going to jack the price up. I mean, just because people are going to pay it, right?
Yeah, I know. Strix is $679. Guys, I've got to take pricing for Europe out of the equation because you guys know Europe has VAT tax in there. Australia is all jacked up. I'm only going by U.S. pricing because that's the model. That's the model that NVIDIA
Australian
uses
pricing.
as well.
Australian pricing for the win. Like everything will be like $1,000 even a mouse.
They're $850 in Sweden, guys. I can't talk about pricing in those countries. The NVIDIA pricing model is based on U.S.
I had a guy the other day tell me when I posted the picture of the OnePlus 3, the box or whatever, he's like, those are $1,000 in Australia. I was just like, oh my God.
Okay, so here's what confuses me, okay? So Kirk Games says that the price for SC is $649, and I have that card in the stack right back there. That's actually, I guess, a decent price. It's still higher than the MSRP, but it seems to me like the SC 1070 is higher in that price range of MSRP versus the Founders card for 1070 than 1080 is, because it's only $10 less than Founders, whereas it is $50 less than Founders for the 1080. Does that make sense? Did you follow
Not really.
that? Okay.
Not really.
Okay. 1080 Founders edition is $700.
Okay.
The MSRP is $600. So $100 difference there. The 1080 SC, which is a Founders PCB but with the ACX 3.0 cooler on it, is $650. So it's right in the middle. Okay. The 1070 MSRP is $379, and the Founders card is $449. Okay, so 379 versus
So
450.
there's a way bigger gap on the 1070 than there is on the 1080.
No, it's only $75 difference, or $70 difference.
$70, but it was only 50 before, wasn't
No,
it?
it was
Or was
100. It was 100.
Oh, without the cooler. Sorry, I was thinking
Yeah,
with the.
it was
cooler.
Founders Edition. Founders Edition's $100 gap. On 1080, 1070 Founders is $70 difference.
Okay.
So 379 versus 449 for NVIDIA.
Gotcha.
But the SC version of the 1070, again, Founders card ACX 3.0 is $439, $10 less than Founders. Not in the middle of that stack like it is for 1080.
Weird.
So that's why I'm saying pricing is just all screwed up. And I'm seeing so many people messaging me on Twitter and on Facebook and stuff saying, what the F is going on with NVIDIA pricing? And that this does make this the most expensive series of NVIDIA card yet when it comes to 1070 and 1080 pricing. And I think that the community is pretty mad about that.
That's
I would
weird
be too. I would be too, but I feel like what jacked all this up was this whole Founders Edition pricing thing. Because if they had just priced the card at $600 and $379, which is very similar to how the 980 or 980 and 970 series launched, I think we'd see cards a little bit closer to the MSRP. So I feel like it's sort of like an artificial inflation of price. Did you follow any of that?
Yeah, I did, but it's
Because looking at chat, they get it, but it's like, and I'm not saying you don't. It's just they are paying attention to this stuff more than you are.
I guess what I'm saying is I just think it comes down to the whole supply and demand issue, right? I mean, people are going to pay the higher prices. They probably intended on coming out with the price that they said, but then they realized, oh, due to supply, we'll just jack it up a little. People still sell it all.
It's kind of crazy. Did. When 980 Ti when 980 and 970 launched, they were available pretty soon thereafter. We're now about a month into launch. Well, 3 weeks into launch, and they're still not on any shelves. They're still not in stock on Amazon. They're not in stock at Newegg. I don't know about NCIX. I haven't checked.
No, I've even had a hard time. I did a little looking around too through my connections, and I got to wait a while to get them myself. So
Hobbs Skyped me and said, "You're zoned the fuck out." It's like when you talk about 3D printing and me. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to rant a little bit about pricing because I want everyone to be able to like afford the graphics cards. But a 970 or a 970, I could call it a 1070, a 70 series card over $400. That's more expensive than it's ever been. And there were some people that were going, you know what? That's kind of bad for the future because what's going to happen? Does that mean the next card's going to be 10% more expensive and then the next card might be 10% more expensive because they're justifying this huge generational jump where eventually the cards will be $1,000?
I think it's way too early to think that this is going to be the trend. Like, I think we'd have to see 2 generations follow this climb before we could assume that was going to like continue to happen. I think it's more along the lines of, like you said, they're nowhere to be found in stock. I think honestly, there's some supply issues.
Yeah,
actually, I know there's some supply issues. I know this for a fact.
Which is interesting because typically the 680 series was the last time I saw a serious supply problem with graphics cards. Like the 680s were out, nobody could find them. Same thing actually kind of went for the 7970 gigahertz edition cards from AMD when they came out, which notoriably was actually they were actually faster than the 680s.
No, I have 2 680s in my my liquid cooled rig over here, and I remember I think I ended up paying like quite a bit over what they were worth. I think I paid $650 or $750 a card for the 680.
You're such a sucker. Anyway,
well, I wanted them, so
well, yeah, and there's obviously people who are going to pay it.
They will.
But in terms of the supply and demand, the 980 and 970 launch, they were easy to get. Titan and 980 Ti launch, they were pretty easy to get. Now, fast forward 1070, 1080, and suddenly it's like supply is just foobarred, like beyond foobar.
What I'm wondering is usually when there's a supply issue, there's usually some kind of a problem with production somewhere. Like, have you heard anything in the news, any kind of rumors or anything about chips coming off the die, like with a high failure rate?
Now, this is purely speculation. I have no idea if this is true or not, but I can tell you Computex just happened, right? Then E3 is happening. At Computex, everyone's displays had 1080s. Everybody, like all of Intel's, all of Alienware's, all of like Origin PC, all the custom build competitions going on. 1080s everywhere, 1080s. E3, NVIDIA even tweeted like, we've got over 300 1080s in use right now at E3. I'm wondering if they held back a lot of the chips that they would be sending the AIB partners or the add-in boards, like EVGA and all of them. I'm wondering if they didn't get the supplies because NVIDIA held on to so many of them to just flood these shows with 1080 representation.
Not only flood, well, I wouldn't think that the shows would be big enough to make a notable impact on a launch that big, but I wonder if...
All these demo machines?
Even with the demo machines, like even the thousands of demo machines. I mean, think about how much supply they'd be shipping worldwide to satisfy the need for that card. I'm
Well,
almost wondering if they're not holding, like physically holding in a warehouse. They're not shipping this shit to build hype
dude, when
for
980
the
Ti
card.
when 980 Ti G1 gaming launched from
Yep.
Gigabyte. Now this is just Gigabyte. The other manufacturers didn't seem to have a problem, but I remember I knew someone over there that was in Gigabyte's warehouse when their pallet of 1080 or 980 Ti's came in.
Yeah.
They got a pallet of 20. So if that gives you any kind of indication of what supply could be like coming to the AIB, because remember the AIBs are only going to get the supply that Nvidia is able to supply them, regardless of how many they order.
Right.
So I don't know if I mean, who knows?
I mean, it almost seems like, I mean, from a conspiracy theory standpoint, it almost seems like a good idea that when you have something that's this hyped, you have so many conventions going on parallel to its launch, that you basically get everybody salivating over it and wanting it, and then you basically just pull back a little bit. And because if it was plentiful and everybody could get it and it was at the regular pricing and everything like that, I don't know. It almost seems like...
But not that many people are buying Founders cards directly from Nvidia because Nvidia inflated the price on those. But at the same time, if you can't even supply the AIB partners with... If you're not supplying the AIB partners with the chips they need to make their cards and they can't sell anything because there's no stock, you're only hurting yourself.
No, that's true.
And then suddenly the supply is gonna go up, and then the demand will go down because they'll be able to meet the demand. And then let's say you're inflating the price 15%.
Yep.
Is that additional 15% going to make you more money, or just give the market the demand it wants and sell all the cards? Which is going to give you more profit?
It depends on if you can. It depends on if you can keep up with the supply. If you can keep up with the supply, that 15% actually is a huge impact.
Yeah.
But if everything's being sold, if everything isn't being sold, then that 15% makes no difference.
This has been a crazy launch though, because Nvidia's already changed its stance on like SLI twice now since we were in Austin. In Austin, we had the meeting about the enthusiast key, and you needed an enthusiast key to be able to unlock 3 and 4-way. And they basically were DRMing your cards to your system by using 3 and 4-way and using the enthusiast key. It wrote a piece of code to your BIOS. It changed settings in the BIOS to allow that to be engaged. I did a whole video about that. Fast forward, was it 2 weeks later?
I remember this.
Last week, PC Per puts out an article saying, and by the way, the only reason I even went to E3 was to specifically talk to NVIDIA about the demos they had going on with VR, and I'm like, what the F is happening with the enthusiast key? Because I wanted to hear it from them directly. And PC Per puts out an article last week saying they've ditched the entire enthusiast key platform, and they are now going to simply not activate 3 and 4-way in games natively. It's only going to work on like 4 benchmarking suites. I think Catzilla, 3D Mark, Heaven, and Valley, which is the Unigine benchmarks. So I at this point, it's just like, I don't know what's going on. So I walk into NVIDIA at E3, and I'm like, hey, about the Skunkworks build, because I'm still waiting on my cards to be able to do this upgrade over here, right? And I've been toying with the idea of just ditching 3 and going with 2 altogether. And when I mentioned the cards, he looks at me and he says, you heard the news, right? I'm like, yeah, I heard the news. What the heck is going on with that? Well, no comment other than it just the enthusiast key thing was going to be kind of a complete nightmare to manage. And you had have to go to a separate website and download stuff. I asked him, I said, so the developers can still enable 3 and 4-way if they want, using DX12 and the API directly, right? And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. I asked them, have you seen any developers show any interest in doing that? And at least at this current moment, I was told some developers are developing for their own specific 2-way API integration with DX12. Like nobody's touching 3 and 4-way, which I kind of expected.
And they're not. I kind of expected that. I don't think they will at all now, just because of the fact that NVIDIA is basically not making it a hugely supported scenario, which means people buying the cards aren't going to go with 3-way and 4-way, because NVIDIA is basically going to tell them that, oh, it's only going to work in benchmark in a handful of games that decide to actually program for that path directly.
I expect it's a niche of a niche market.
It's a niche of a niche. Well, it was. But you got to admit, it is bullshit. I think this is total bullshit that they're still enabling the cards for certain benchmarks. And the reason why I think that's bullshit is let the benchmarks, if they want, implement the 4-way SLI implementation. Don't unlock them and just let them do it just to be the fastest cards out there. Because now you're representing scores saying, oh, NVIDIA is so fast in 4-way. And it's unfair because if you put 4 cards in your system, most games are not going to react to it like that.
Well, yeah, the benchmarks have always been perfect scale, not perfect, but very, very good scaling when it comes to multiple cards. Way better than games, obviously.
Yeah, I just think it's unfair. I think it's like the equivalent of taking like a high speed compute card that doesn't even have a video header on it and be like, oh man, this thing is like 5,000 frames per second, even though it can't even
Yeah.
show an image on a screen. It's
It
like
doesn't even have to worry about pixel clock or any of that.
yeah, that's exactly my point. Is it's like it doesn't seem fair. It seems a little dirty that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Don't sue me, Nvidia.
No, I'm frustrated with the pricing. I'm frustrated with this weird launch. The fact that nobody can get their hands on it if they want. It's just, this has been weird. This has been very weird. And normally it's not this rocky of a launch. And depending on Polaris, June 29th, I'm not for certain, but the RX 480 obviously is their mid-range card, mid to low-range card. AMD's kind of launching their stack from the bottom up. And if the performance of RX 480, which preliminary results, again, nobody has them yet. Linus, I think, has one. I know he's not the one that would have leaked this information, but we're seeing preliminary that RX 480 is as fast as a single 980. Not a 980 Ti, but a 980. That's a big deal for AMD. But this is also like the first launch of GPUs that Raja Kaduri was a part of, who's always been like the Radeon guy that got the helm again with Radeon and can now actually do things as long as AMD gives him the funding that he needs. So this might end up being the year of AMD if they can really pull this off. And if they can get their shit together and actually launch their stack at the proper timing before NVIDIA gets whatever's happening with their supply chain fixed, AMD might be able to step in here as long as they don't overhype it. And I think you guys have noticed that this launch, there hasn't been a ton of hype about the RX 480 with the exception of the people that are hyping it themselves. But AMD is not shoving it down your throat like they were with Hawaii and the GNC and all that stuff. So, or GNC. I'm thinking the VitaShop. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna find out next week. I've got a meeting with them.
In my video I just released before going live on TechTalk, I actually did a little AMD joke in there. I was like, yeah, you need a lot of performance to drive, 4K panels, and I was like, or get the AMD equivalent. And I kind of jokingly went, like AMD's ever gonna have an equivalent. Now it sounds like that joke entirely possibly could be shot down with AMD's release. But kudos to them, right? We've both said that we need AMD to compete, otherwise NVIDIA is going to get complacent, right?
As long as AMD is alive, they have an opportunity to at least match the performance. I think most people are just hoping that they really match the performance. Someone said 480 equals 980 Ti. No, Antonio Rodriguez, not even close. A single 980, not a 980 Ti. But anyway, you need them to do well. But the difference is there's a different executive team for the Radeon team this time around than before. And you know what's hurt AMD in the past was their marketing, in my opinion. Their marketing was just really, really juvenile, in my opinion. But anyway, one other topic I wanted to talk about here for the NVIDIA thing, and then we'll move on to other stuff, is...
Oh, shit's about to get all crazy now.
Shizzle.
Oh my God, guys, put on your seatbelts.
Well, no. So I woke up this morning to a ton of messages in my inbox because I have one of the only MSI Gaming X 1080 videos on YouTube, like specifically about benchmarking it, because I got the first one sent to YouTubers, and then other ones went out later. About MSI
kind of becoming a big deal on YouTube, aren't you, Jay?
I don't know why MSI wanted to send it to me first. Maybe because I didn't go to Computex. I don't know. But anyway. Well, I was actually here while Computex was going on, so I could do the benchmarks while everyone was stuck over there. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
I think it's just because you're the GPU guy. I think that's why they sent
I don't want to be the GPU guy anymore.
You're the liquid cooling GPU guy.
I don't want to be the GPU guy anymore. Everyone hates the GPU guy. Anyway, so I wake up to this article being sent to me in every platform there is. Right? Really?
I'm sorry.
I hate the VR guy. I hate the VR guy. So video cards. Videocards.com shows an article, and you guys can head over to videocards with a Z, videocards.com, and you'll see an article about ASUS and MSI are being accused of sending reviewers modified BIOS. And what they're claiming is that the BIOS and the boost clocks are higher with the reviewers' cards than what the actual public is getting. So I read this article and I went, okay, interesting. They actually had some side-by-side BIOS that they were showing pictures of, and there was about a 25 megahertz discrepancy between the retail BIOS and the reviewer BIOS. So I went to my card. I loaded up Tech GPU Z or Tech Power Up GPU Z, and here is what I got when. Oh, by the way, these. So I'm showing that image, Jerry. I sent you because Jerry can't see my screen.
I'm watching it right now.
So the actual core memory, right? There's 3 modes on the MSI cards, and this has been this way now since the 700 series, I believe it was. You have a silent mode where the fan profile is very, very non-invasive, and it's got a 1607 megahertz base clock, which is pretty much factory, like from NVIDIA. And then you got a 1733 megahertz boost clock, which is higher than the 1683 that you typically get on a Founders card. If you enable the gaming mode, you get 1683 and an 1822 boost clock. If you enable OC mode, you get a 1708 and an 1847 boost clock. Now I loaded up my BIOS, and you can see I know it's going to look kind of small, guys, especially if you're watching on mobile. You're just going to have to listen to the way I'm narrating this. My BIOS was 86.04.17.00.27. So let's just focus on the .27. It's an older version of the BIOS. But you can see right here that my GPU clock is 1709 and my boost clock is 1848, which pretty much matches that OC mode right there. So the accusation here was that the reviewers were being sent BIOS that were forcing the OC mode in any scenario. When I asked a fellow follower on Twitter to send me a screenshot of his BIOS, because he had a couple of the cards, he has .50, which is obviously a newer version of the BIOS, and you can see his GPU clock is 1683, and his boost clock is 1823. So down 25 megahertz on the boost clock for mine versus his. So here's what I did today. I went, okay, how much is this affecting performance? There's no question about the BIOS being different. The review BIOS is different, end of story. They made a newer BIOS that was slower, sent it out, and it looks like they basically sent it with the gaming mode enabled, which is what those numbers pretty much correlate with, if you guys look at that chart. So I loaded up my clocks with .27, and I boosted up to 1974. So that's already considerably farther than the BIOS is doing. And you guys know how GPU boost works. It's going to go as far as it thinks it can based on temperature and power limit and load and voltage. So it's dynamic. It's always changing. But it went to 1974. The gaming mode enabled went to 1949, and silent enabled went to 1911. So I did a Firestrike normal score or test, and I got 22,806. So then what I did was I downloaded the retail BIOS. I put my own BIOS in there, or that BIOS in there, and here's what I got. It boosted up to 1936. Gaming mode went to 1911, and silent mode went to 1873. So there clearly was a boost drop across the board. The Firestrike score was 22, well, I forgot to change it. It said 22,806. It was actually, let me look at my phone here. Damn it, I forgot to update my little chart there. But the number was, this is why this is amateur hour, guys. The results were 22,744. So it was a 0.3% difference in performance. Now the article was stating that isn't the issue here. The issue isn't the fact that the BIOS was, or that there was only 1% difference in most cases, in my case 0.3. It was the fact that we were sent a different BIOS than what the public was sent. And that kind of leads to a problem. One, we weren't notified that there was a different BIOS being sent to retail. So that means I'm benchmarking a card with a slightly different BIOS than what you would get, Jerry, if you went out and bought it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Two, any other manufacturer I've worked with before, if there's been any sort of a BIOS change between review and retail, I was notified of it and sent it. But in this case, we weren't. So I reached out to MSI and I said, hey, what is going on? I'm sure you've seen the news. People are really upset about this, what appears to be some sort of like a BIOS bait and switch. As a reviewer, it makes me look bad because my results are inconsistent with what the public is seeing. What is going on? And I basically got that generic canned response of, yeah, we're aware of it. I've already reached out to the VGA team. They're in Taipei. There's a 20-hour difference, whatever it is. We're not going to be able to get back to you until tomorrow or the next day. I told them I was going to go live with this article in TechTalk regardless. So what I want to get the dialogue going here is, do you think this can lead to a bigger problem of making products look better when the reviewers have them and then doing like a quick switcheroo or reduction of performance? Because the theory here is that maybe all of the cards are not reaching those numbers as advertised.
No, I completely agree. I think it's complete bullshit because they could, like you said, they could be giving you a cherry picked card that they already cranked to some predetermined limit, locked it on the BIOS, gave it to you, and then everything else they're shipping conservatively.
Yeah. Now,
I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying it opens up the door for them to do something like that.
I'm getting a little bit of confliction here internally myself because one, both BIOS exceed the advertised boost clock in every instance. I mean, you're looking at that picture, right?
Yes.
So on the top left, those are the advertised speeds, but on the right, those are what my boost clocks were based on my open air test bench, and that's how far it went. So you're getting more than what was advertised, but clearly
Well,
there's a difference in performance between the two, albeit minuscule, 0.3%. What if and the argument here at videocards.com that's going on here is what stops them from next year doing a 2% and then a 3% and then a 5% and then just sending you a silicon lottery winner and being like, look how great this card is, but then everyone else gets a card that performs considerably less.
Does the BIOS have a, let me see, the version number associated with it is, so the reviewer card is on the right, correct?
The reviewer card is .27.
Oh.
The retail card is .50. So we couldn't even test the retail version if we wanted because it wasn't even out yet. They came out with the new BIOS after the review.
No, so this actually does make sense. This almost seems like it could be an honest mistake. I mean, if and not
we
even
got
a
devil's
mistake.
advocate here.
No, it just kind of sounds to me. I mean, looking at the BIOS revisions, like if it was a newer BIOS revision than what shipped, like what they locked down and shipped publicly, I would believe that the intention could be to overclock the card and make the card look good with the reviewers. But I think more than likely what happened here is they shipped you a card with a beta BIOS and they tweaked things before they went to retail.
But they sent me the card with the faster BIOS.
Oh, it may have been the faster BIOS, but obviously they still tweaked things for retail. I'm just saying that their intent wasn't to send you a card and mislead you. It was just they were still physically working on the BIOS, and they obviously made some tweaks to the BIOS, which changed the performance, which is a little bit weird. Like I get why people think that could be a bad thing because. But what if they did run into something after they sent the cards out to the reviewers and some of the reviewers were reporting problems and they decided to back it off a little bit?
Well, I did specifically report that my card was a terrible overclocker. My Founder's card went farther and it doesn't have the extra power phases and doesn't have the extra power plug.
That kind of supports the argument of them already shipping it to you, sitting right on the edge of its capability. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, so my card crashes at 2035. And you can see by looking at that chart again, mine boosts up to 1974. So mine's only 60 megahertz away from crashing, just the way it boosts on itself.
Wow, so it's like pre overclock, pretty much.
Well, again, you have to think about the way GPU boost works. That's why I'm internally a little bit conflicted here. Is it's more of a moral, I guess more of a morals thing than it is an actual direct performance difference thing. Like
because what you received, you believed to be the equivalent of the retail card that would be going out to the customers. Like they pretty much assured you that the card that you were going to be benchmarking, making a video on, would be what the end product would be.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, obviously.
I mean, it's not like that 0.3% performance difference between the benchmarks makes any sort of real difference in the way it stacks up against other cards. I can't talk to some. I see some comments about ASUS and what was going on with ASUS, guys. I don't have an ASUS card. It was Strix 1070 was the one that was accused of this as well. I have no idea what's happening with that. But I can just say that if they did lock it down and make a new BIOS for retail, I guess my question is, why wasn't I told? I reviewed a BIOS that was sent to me. I should have been told, hey, we've updated our BIOS. Here it is. Have with it as you will. That's happened in the past before with other companies. I've had that happen with PowerColor with their 390X Devils edition, the water-cooled one. I had to go through 2 different BIOS iterations before I was able to actually do my review. But the thing was, the BIOS I was finally shipped was the one that went on a retail.
I guess I would look at it from the perspective, would you be pissed off if you bought a card retail, you went to the store and bought it, and then they released a new driver, and as a part of the driver, it flashed the BIOS. Let's say, okay, there's new firmware available for the card, and it updated, and then all of a sudden, you noticed in benchmarks your card was slower. Not by a huge significant amount, but it was overall slower. Would you be pissed off?
You know what, though? Nobody would, in the amount of difference we're talking here with the MSI, nobody would notice. Nobody.
And I don't know why everybody's bitching, because it seems to me like it's more just internal tuning on the BIOS, just for them to maybe increase stability, reduce power usage. I mean,
because Jerry, they're not mad about this particular instance. They're worried about the practice of What
Oh,
if
it's setting a precedent for people being able to say, "Oh yeah, no, that of course that wasn't the retail BIOS."
yeah.
Later on, after the
Yeah.
fact.
So
Okay,
it
no, I
makes
see
me
what you're saying.
want to tell, companies like, don't send me anything that's not retail. But then again, at the same time, I know as well as everyone else that they're, like you said, they are constantly tweaking things. So I don't know. I mean, I can't remember the last time I was notified of a BIOS update for a GPU to download, unless it was like, I take that back, 750 EVGA 750. There was lots of complaints about the fans being too loud at idle. So EVGA released a new BIOS to release those fans minimum speed. But I don't know. I think that's what it boils down to. The audience in general likes to make up conspiracy theories and really try to make huge mountains out of things. And I'm not saying that this isn't an issue, but I am saying that the argument here is that, like you said, it's the precedence. Can they start to tweak things for reviewers to look better, and then you run out and you buy it because Jay said this was a good card, and then you can't get your results to mimic mine?
Well, let me ask you this: did you have the card before the new BIOS was discovered? Like when you got the card, was that the newest BIOS they had?
Well, yeah, I was the only one with the card, so there was no other BIOS to be had.
So in that case, it's entirely possible that they thought that that was the BIOS that was going to go to retail, and they had to make a last minute tweak. We don't know the exact time they did it, right?
Let me change that statement. I was the only
Okay.
YouTuber with the card, but Tech Power Up, Guru 3D, all the other, like some of the other written sites, I think there were three or four of them, had access to the card, and they confirmed they had the same BIOS I had. So all the review cards had the same BIOS.
And were they all shipped around the same time? I guess what I'm getting
Yes.
at is
Yes.
so it almost sounds to me like that was the latest BIOS.
They
and
were
after
all
the reviewers
shipped.
got the card.
They
Yeah.
were all shipped to us on launch day. Not before launch day, before NDA and all that stuff. On launch day, May 24th, whatever it was. I think that's what the date was. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, I got a message from somebody saying that your mic might be a little bit hot. You're crackling a little bit. It's not bad, but it's there at the top end.
You hear it?
It's somebody who's a little bit here. Talk loud.
Well, I just pulled it down about, I don't know.
No, you sound good now. It
5
was
dB.
it was doing it just a tiny bit. I didn't
Well,
really think
I
it
was
was
I was also talking louder. I was getting a little worked up.
You're all like, "Oh my god, the BIOS." The
Yeah.
BIOS is getting me all worked up. No, I can see I can see what you're saying. I'm trying to look at it from both sides here, but I think more than likely it was an honest mistake. They sent all the reviewers the card with the final BIOS that they thought they were going to use. They probably found some kind of issue or some kind of tweak, and they released the new BIOS before it went out to customers, and that's where you have the discrepancy. But the fact that they
Yeah.
never messaged the reviewers and said, "Oh, listen, we created a new BIOS," even if it was after the fact, after you guys did your reviews, like, "Hey, tell everybody that we created a new BIOS and here's the changes." That's a
Yeah.
little bit weird to me. That seems almost like it was evasive, like they were trying to just slip it in unnoticed.
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be fair too, I work directly with like the marketing team. They're the ones that send out these samples, and then they're not in direct communication with what the GPU team is doing. And I know that sounds just like what happened with the 970 and the VRAM issue, but that's the truth. Like at MSI, that's the way it works. I don't talk directly to the NVIDIA GPU engineers over at MSI. They're in Taipei. The guy I talk to is out in like City of Industry in California. So they're not the same team. So that's why my contact, I had to contact him to find out what's going on, and now he's waiting to be informed on what's happening.
Gotcha. Oh, I got a message on Twitter from Dan Allen. He said, "You okay, Jerry? You seem a little down." I'm exhausted, guys.
He spent 9 days working on a video.
9 days working on a video, drinking coffee and Red Bull. No, I'm just I didn't sleep well last night. I don't really sleep well to begin with, but some nights I have rougher nights than others, and it's just last night was one of those. And I had to wake up super early this morning to get something done so that I could go to my voice lessons. Yes, I am getting vocal coaching lessons. Woohoo! So that I can sing my ass off and win some rock band money. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, that's why I'm exhausted, guys. This is just me just like trying not to fall asleep. I'll be better next week.
I need to do something over here real quick, so I want you to talk about something.
You want me to talk about something?
And dang, it's already 5:45. Jeez, I talked about that for a long time. Guys, we're going to get to all of the donation comments, I promise.
Yeah, I've also got some donations on my side too that I got to read. People
We might run a little bit.
We
We might run a little bit long today. I don't know if that's okay with you, Jerry. Like just
I can probably go over by like 10 or 15 minutes,
Okay,
but
that's
after
fine.
I've got a dinner engagement I got to get to.
God, always eating.
I know, food is life. All right, well, you do your thing. I'll tell everybody about the new video that I finally uploaded after 6 days. Damn it, now you got me even trashing on myself, Jay. I hate you. So a lot of you guys wanted to know about my crazy video setup that I have with 350-inch 4K displays, and it was a nightmare. Everybody asked me these questions, and I find that I keep answering them in email one by one, and that wasn't very smart since I can just create a video and show you guys all the pitfalls because it's not easy. That's the thing is a lot of people think, oh, just grab a 4K TV and plug it into a computer. It's a lot more difficult than that. With the 1080p generations of TVs, it was really easy to just plug them in and go, but with 4K being so close to the bleeding edge of technology, you have to pick the right graphics card. You have to connect the screens with the right HDMI cables using the right adapters because there's so many different little pieces of hardware out there that don't work. And when they don't work, it's not like they don't work at all. They limit your options and people get frustrated. Well, I got frustrated. So I finally figured everything out and just decided to make a video that's like, here's exactly what you need to go and buy and what you need to research if you want to use 4K TVs as monitors and have like, a billion trillion pixels.
That's just so not even like something I would be interested in going through all that. I would break a TV.
Dude, I was pulling my hair out when I decided to go on that journey between it. I went through 4 different types of screens, 3 of which were TVs and 1 of which were proper monitors from Korea before I finally found the Samsung screens that worked the way that I wanted to. And it's like, I wish I had all the data in the beginning, but I didn't. I had to figure it all out because nobody else is doing this shit. So,
yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to hail Joker here on Twitter. He ain't answering me. I was actually offering to get him in on this conversation about NVIDIA if he wants to. He seems to have some some decent opinions regarding the matter, and I think we might actually align on this one. But
no,
that would be like a mark the calendar type of day if he and I agreed on something.
Yeah, I'd be looking out my window for flying bacon.
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 Okay, so while I'm waiting for him to respond to me, I will go through some of these comments. So James Swanson, every year, Jay, take about the 3 things that happened in Orlando. Oh, it means talk about. You know what? I kind of want to don't talk about. I kind of don't want to talk about that subject because it's so damn depressing. Not to mention that it just opens up so much political debate, and we like to have fun on this show and not argue over politics.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think we should just leave it at we feel bad for the victims, but let's not make it all political like everybody's trying to make it.
Andrew Tyler says, what are your thoughts on painting motherboard heat sinks? What are your thoughts on paint? Oh, did it twice. And then it says not signed in. You should probably signed in, Andrew. It depends on the paint you use. 1, paint can be conductive, so don't just like spray it on the motherboard. Take the heat sinks off. 2, anything you add that's gonna build up on the heatsink, like paint, is gonna act as an insulator too and could affect temps. So keep that in mind. Most heatsinks and stuff are not painted; they're like anodized if they're aluminum. Kanto Reds says, "Hey Jay, how's the new mic? You tell me. I think it sounds good.
I think it sounds good. I like it.
Jerry says it sounds warm. It sounds nice and warm.
Makes me feel like I'm just snuggling in your warm embrace, Jay.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Joker says you have his Skype. If you want to add him to that.
Do you want me to pull him in?
Yeah, let me. Okay, that'll work. Because I don't know what's going to happen to the layout once you pull him in. It's probably going to get all kinds of jacked up. So before you pull him in, make sure you have an alias set for him on his Skype so his Skype name doesn't get seen.
All right, I'm going to rename him to McFuggletits.
That's the exact name I had for him. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
okay.
There we go. Let's see. Okay, no, everything.
Oh, and I forgot. Actually, I was supposed to. So the person, he wanted me to try and pronounce his name on Twitter. The guy who actually, the first one who tipped me off to the video cards article. His name was Jesse Waltersom, I believe is his name. Waltersom, his last name. He's like, I want to see how you pronounce my last name. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Waltersom, Woltersom, Waltersom.
Yeah, it actually seems like one of the easier ones.
I think it's a trick question though. It's like, oh, but you can't pronounce my name, so I'm all like Waltersom. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, hey, before I pull Joker in, I got Did you get through all the donations on your side?
No.
Or you still got some?
No, there's still a few.
Oh my God.
I'll go through two more.
Go through 2 more and then let me get mine.
Oh my Lord!
What?
This name spelled NDHLOVU.
Don't even try.
Dolview?
Don't even try.
Andrew Dolview. Hey Jay, on the topic of GPUs, would you please do a video on modding the BIOS of graphics cards, in particular the R9290? I've never modified any AMD BIOS, only NVIDIA. Maybe I'll look into it. I do have a 290. I guess I could I could smoke in the name of science.
Hacksaw that shit, Jay. Hacksaw it.
The one nerd you know says the prices of these GPUs are too damn high. Yeah, I'm hearing that echoed quite a bit. Toxic Doctor says, check your tweets. Message didn't go thought. Or thought. Message didn't go thought. He's saying message didn't go through. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Bill S. Love the discussions. Also, was going to be getting a 1070 in a couple weeks, but with how outrageous the pricing is getting, the 970 instead. P.S. Jerry also sent $5 to you too. Aw.
Woohoo!
Aaron Marcus says, Jay, you didn't represent everyone in your test bench versus closed case. You didn't test the graphics card without a cooler. Sarcasm. And on that note, bring Joker in.
Here, I'll grab him. Here we go.
Don't grab too hard. I hear he bites.
I'm grabbing him. Come on in here. Come on, McFuggle Tits.
Cash dollar, real cash dollar.
Get on in here, McFuggle Tits. Come on. There he is.
What's up, man?
There's my boy.
What's going on, bro?
Is it working?
Yeah, hang on a second. I can hear Jay on the stream, but not on Skype.
All right.
I don't know how to redo this.
Oh, there we go.
The layout is so screwed up. It's just going to be audio.
Oh, check out this name, dude. I got a donation from, okay, let's see if I can figure this out. I think it's Jornar Nielsen. Bjornar. Jornar?
I need to try and redo this layout. Hold on. Because it's like 4x3 when you do it.
Yeah, you fix the layout and all
yeah,
that.
It goes to 4x3. I usually have like a background if you got to put it in like that.
You two are going to be in the same window. So, oops, that's the wrong scene. Oh, God, we are
That's
totally
okay. Me and Jerry like being on top of each other.
Yeah, we do. You little
all right.
snuck guy. Oh, wow. Okay, so it says, hi, Jerry. Thanks for making entertaining informational videos. They have helped me through this crazy year with my younger sister becoming a brother and me overcoming depression. Did I read that right? I'm guessing your sister got a sex change? Wow.
What?
Power to her. Power to her or him.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I was like, my sister didn't get a sex change.
No. Now for the question. I recently got a Razer Siren. Okay, good microphone. But I don't want to pay the high price and shipping for the Razer shock mount. What is the best way to DIY mount it on an arm? I would just go buy one of the generic shock mounts that they have like at a Guitar Center, or go on Amazon and just do a search for generic shock mount. They make ones that just have a rubber ring that you can literally just push the microphone through, and then it's just got the suspension on. I would just get one of those rings. It's probably like 10 or 20 bucks for a cheap one. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Or you can suspend the thing yourself on rubber bands if you can find a ring that'll go around it.
Let's do that.
You figuring it out?
Well,
let's see. Oh, Bill, there's Bill's donation. Thank you, Bill.
I guess that'll work.
Here's a good one for Jay. I like this. Rise Thompson said, "Hey Jerry, keep up the good work and tell Jay to get a real car. Hashtag R32GTR." Oh, Jay, poor Jay. He's like his eyes.
Why, but why is he giving me a hard time? You're the one. You have a Subi. It's not like
I know.
It's not like you were in that GTR class.
I know. I found out yesterday though. My neighbor right across the street from me has a Volkswagen Bug that has a 2.5 liter in it, putting out like 150 horsepower. And it doesn't sound like much, but the car weighs like 17 or 1,800 pounds. So the thing just goes like a stabbed rat. And I was like, dude, that's hilarious. I was like, have you ever had over 100? And he's like, no, this thing's like an inverted wing. It'd take off.
Okay, this is absolute terrible cropping here, but okay, fine. So,
Looks good
Joker,
enough.
I saw people responding to you, but I wasn't seeing any of your comments regarding the article on both pricing and then the way MSI ship different BIOSes. So what were you saying?
Oh yeah, so I was commenting on the BIOS situation because Jerry was pointing to the fact it could have been a mistake. It very likely could have been a mistake. Tech Power Up, who I believe were the original people that posted the story, said that as well.
And that's why I grabbed the BIOS.
Don't you agree with me?
So no, I'm not agreeing with you because this actually because you were saying it was only one time, but this actually goes back to the 200 series on AMD. The first one from MSI was the 280X gaming that came out in September 2013. That on the review samples was clocked to 1050 megahertz, while the retails were 1020 megahertz. So that's MSI. Now ASUS is a little bit sooner, going back to the 980 Ti Matrix. And Tech Power Up, they suggested that ASUS maybe started falling in line, seeing that MSI is doing it. So maybe now we'll do it too. But that was just their speculation.
You know what? Do you think it's fair, Joker, to assume that they're taking huge risk with reputation over 1% of performance difference?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like 30 megahertz is like literally nothing.
That's why I don't think it's intentional. If it was intentional, I think that they'd be pushing it a lot further than that.
But when you're comparing it to other cards and yours edges out, right? If you just stack it up megahertz.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're doing a review of all the 1080s, and then you put them on a graph at the end, it's just all they see is the bar that's the furthest to the right.
Sure.
And
Even if it's 1 FPS, it's more to the right.
Yeah, they don't see that it's just a sliver of it. I mean, that's why earlier today when I wasn't planning on doing like any sort of real work today. I was going to kind of take the day off. And when I saw this article, I came up here and immediately ran through benchmarks on my MSI Gaming X through my BIOS, and then downloaded the 0.50 BIOS from TechPowerUp and did all the same tests back to back. And it equated to, like I said, 0.3% of performance. But like we said here, the discussion is it sets a precedence that it's okay if you let it slide and you look away, that the BIOS is different that we got to test. The thing that doesn't make me, I'm not upset about the fact that the BIOS changed. I want BIOSes to improve if they're fixing something. But give us some sort of a release note. Let us know why it changed and let me know about it so I can at least address it. Otherwise, I look like the guy that just went along with it.
I mean, I was also just, really surprised that this is just coming up now and that no reviewers have noticed for, like 3 years that when they popped in their card, it was running at 30 megahertz higher than what was written on the box. Everyone. It's like, 3 years now. This is going on a long time. And I don't know if this is all of them. Do you have any of the older cards you could check? Because TechPowerUp is reporting this. They have a spreadsheet up, like I said, with all of their numbers, but I don't know if this is everyone's numbers. If
I don't have the only... So for MSI...
I don't know if you've seen... I'll link you this spreadsheet they posted.
Yeah, I did look a little bit through there, but not in depth. The only cards I have right now for MSI's older cards is 300 AMD series, and then 980 Ti and 980. So I could check, but I don't know if those fall in line with any. I'd be surprised though if they just suddenly on this one were like, oh, let's just do it a little bit on this one. So I don't know what's going on over there. I really wish they'd been able to get back to me, because I messaged them this morning hoping I could catch Taipei before they clocked out for the day, but no word on this. I just find it hard to believe that both ASUS and MSI would sacrifice any level of integrity if they did this to be shady. But they're so quiet about it, and we all know that sometimes the lack of a comment is in itself almost incriminating.
Yeah.
It does seem a little bit suspect though, looking at the chart, that it's always the review model that's faster. If it was a BIOS discrepancy or tuning, you'd almost expect the retail unit to ship with the higher clock rate.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the comments when you were saying, it's probably just one mistake. I was like, for 3 years?
No. This does actually look a little bit suspect now that I look at it. Like when you see all the data there, there's no flip-flop. There's absolutely not one entry I can see here where the retail card was faster than the review card. It's always the review card.
It's the same or the
it's all the same. Faster. Yeah, it's the same as we'd expect or faster. And the thing is, I can't think of any tangible bug situation from a software development perspective that would cause them to. That's the thing is too, is it's such an insignificant amount, right? The only thing I could think of is, like you said, they're just trying to edge things out, right?
Or there's the other argument I saw made online was that they were they wanted to save the reviewers from having to do that, so they were just enabling the full mode for them because they don't expect reviewers to go ahead and install like the gaming app or anything like that. Although I don't know if you're reviewing their card, why you wouldn't review the gaming app.
I forgot to even mention this, and I made a post or I made a comment on videocards.com, by the way, in that article, was the gaming app is still not available to the consumer to go on their website and download. I don't know if it shipped because guys, I don't know if you guys know this. When MSI sends a card, and I'm holding up the box right here, I have the box, but I don't have any of the accessories that go with it. It's just the card in there. So I don't have.
Is the gaming app different now? Because they had it like years ago. Is it a different version, I guess, now?
Version 6.0.3 is the one you have to use for the 1080 because of GP Boost 3.
Gotcha.
And apparently the way it works. See, the gaming app integrates also with MSI Afterburner. So when I do things on the gaming app, it brings up Afterburner, it does some things, and then I think it's literally just sending some sort of code to Afterburner to do the clock, although the sliders don't move. So if you go to the website right now and try and download the new version of gaming app for MSI, it's still version 5, and when you try to install it with a 1080 installed in your system, it says there's no compatible hardware to use the app. So rightfully so, the people who are upset if they can't get the OC clock either, they can't until the app is updated. And that was something else I told MSI. I'm like, this is being compounded by the fact that your app that isn't even available, which means people can't take advantage of the LED lighting. They can't take advantage of so many different things that they tout about this card. Until the app is updated, they can't even use those functions, right? I mean, check it right now. Go to MSI, look at the gaming app, and version 5 is what downloads when you say get the latest version. So that's a bigger problem on top of that. So yeah. I don't know.
And they started shipping the gaming cards retail now, right? Yeah, I've seen a couple people got them at retail and made videos.
Yeah, and what made me really want to dive into the story today was one of my followers sent me a picture of his rig, and he's got 2 of them in there. And I was like, hey, send me a screenshot of your BIOS. I want to check something. And of course, his was the lower BIOS, the .50, which has the slower speeds. So
yeah, it's definitely sketchy for sure. I hope they make an announcement or say something about it, like them or ASUS.
But
Time to invest in some tinfoil, gentlemen.
I think there's a lot of people though, ever since especially 970, have lost a lot of trust with things that are branded NVIDIA right now. So I think any response they come up with, though, people are just gonna poo-poo it and claim, conspiracy. So I don't know what they can say to make anyone happy.
Yeah, I don't know if they could say anything to make anything happen. They got to say something though, right? I mean, if they just leave it alone and then just start shipping cards at the regular retail clock speeds, then everyone's gonna know what's up. I mean, we already know.
Somebody might have to open up an app and overclock them a little. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, hey, a lot of people.
Which is what everybody that's complaining is going to do, anyways. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the people that are complaining, but it's still going to make all the charts look,
This was a pretty. I read every single comment on every post I could find about this, and it was pretty divided. It was. There was a lot of people going, "Dude, this isn't a huge deal. It's 25 megahertz, and you're going to overclock it anyway." And then you have the other side going, "No, it's the principle of it all." So.
I can see that argument.
I literally feel like I've got a leg on each side of that fence right now.
That is literally exactly how I feel. I feel the same. It's like principle wise, like, you should not have done this. You guys messed up big time. But at the same rate, I'm like, it's like 1%. You're not going to see anything.
And geez, if the argument is advertising and technical weren't like in communication regarding this, that argument was already used with the 3.5 VRAM from NVIDIA. So you can't really recycle that argument. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. I don't know. So it makes me as a reviewer want to say I don't want to touch anything that's not retail.
It'd be interesting if somebody could actually pull the BIOS dump from both of the firmware dump from both of those cards and compare them, even just on a hex level, just to see how many bits are different. Because what I'm wondering is if in the BIOS it goes deeper than just the slight speed and clock issue, and maybe they're even tweaking stuff internally. Kind of like back what they did with the drivers and NVIDIA and stuff to get them to defeat the benchmarks by lying about which features of the card are enabled during benchmarks and stuff like that. So the benchmark's like, oh yeah, I'm processing anti-aliasing on the GPU, and it's just running a function that's empty. That's like, yep, I did it, and it's just giving you massively faster frame rate. Now
Joker is as big of a GPU whore as I am, and he likes to follow this stuff closely. And I've seen some reports today, and I'm curious if you've seen this. Some folks are claiming their 980 Ti's have been getting slowly gimped as drivers come out.
I did not see that go up. Was that on video cards?
Not on video cards. It was some folks responding to comments on, comments on this, actually, in this stream. I saw it on Twitter when I mentioned earlier. I was having that conversation with someone about the BIOS, like send me your version of BIOS, and other people chimed in like, hey, I just noticed my 980 Ti dropped 10% on all my benchmarks today when they downloaded the new drivers. So I'm thinking it might be time to go back and test some of the older cards with old drivers versus new. Because older versions of the drivers stay available for a while, but I'm one of those guys that I don't delete anything from my system.
Neither do I. I have a folder from every single card I've ever owned for different OS. Like, I don't know. It's like, why do I have a 770 Lightning driver? Like, I'm going to keep that. Well,
but at least it gives you an opportunity to really check and see, has there been improvements or any sort of a decline in performance over time?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to read a couple more of these comments here real quick so that we can move forward. Matt Gibbs says, is the T5i a good starter camera for making videos? I received one as a hand-me-down. That's a good hand-me-down, actually. Also, what is a good budget mic to use with my T5i? So that's a Canon Rebel. Probably the biggest improvement you could make to any Rebel is just get yourself a decent video lens. Yep. You use DSLR too, right, Joker?
Yep.
I used to. I come from a big DSLR background.
I was using a T5i for about a year and a half, and recently switched over to the Panasonic G7 for 4K and all that stuff. But yeah, the T5i is a great camera. Get yourself like a good lens. Don't use the kit lens. I started off on using the 50mm, which is a prime, so you're limited there. But
like the 150?
Yeah, it's cheap, so like everyone can afford it. That's why I suggest it. It's limited, but it can go low light because it shoots down to 1.8 aperture.
I just sold that lens yesterday. I had that lens. I sold it yesterday.
From there, I go to 24 to 70 would be my next big upgrade after that. If you want to stay on the same camera with Canon and plan to upgrade in the future.
The only thing to keep in mind is the Canon has an EFS lens and not just an FS or
the EF.
The EF lens. So you are limited on some of the lenses you can use. Like when you have
I think
like
they make an adapter though, don't they?
well, if you're talking about the Metabone Speed Booster or something like that,
Yeah.
that costs more than lenses.
You can get that, or you can get a dummy adapter, but then you're gonna lose some of your range there.
Yeah, the Nifty 50 is actually really good. Just don't drop it; it's all plastic.
Yeah,
I think
that thing is
everyone
cheaper
with
in
a,
Taiwan, dude.
I'm pretty sure everyone with a DSLR, Canon DSLR, has at least one of those lenses because they're cheap and you can get some really good depth of field. Just sometimes at 1.8 though, you get a lot of that chromatic aberration. I can never pronounce it, but that's where the colors on the edges, yeah, they band out and you can see the red, green, and blue. But yeah, it's a good one. As for mic, you're not gonna find too many mics that
It depends.
You're not gonna
It
find
really,
too many,
I'm sorry. I was going to say it depends on where you're filming. Like, you're going to be sitting at your desk, or you're going to be on the go, walking around, that kind of thing, you know?
So I just got an AT4053B for the studio. That is a hypercardioid mic, very directional, because shotguns inside of rooms like this with a lot of reflection. I don't have a lot of stuff on the walls. It's a cube. Based on the location of my door, my closet, my window, and my desk, I'm not going to be able to put much sound dampening in the corners to help some of that reflection, so I'm kind of screwed. Shotguns like indoors don't work so great. That's why I'm hoping the hypercardioid really works. Like if you listen to Awesome Sauce's or Kyle, if you listen to his videos and the amazing sound quality, he's using a Sennheiser hypercardioid mic. Granted, it's like $1,000 mic, but it sounds really good. I'm hoping that this is going to sound that good.
No, I found the trick with shotguns is you literally have to put them above you, pointing down at the carpet. So they're basically pointing at a dead zone, and you're basically in the path, and then it sounds great. But if you have them just pointing at your face from across the room, yeah, it picks up all the weird echoes and shit.
Typically, you would point it like right at your chest, kind of like right where you
would put, it's bizarre. Like you wouldn't think it would work because it's like way up above you, pointed down at your chest, but it picks you up amazing.
Yep.
But as for mics that would plug directly into your camera, I just got this Zoom H5 today, actually. I had the Tascam DR40, bought that yesterday, decided I don't like it, so I got the H5 instead. It's a really nice little recorder, and it's nice because I can mount this to like a cold shoe on the camera or on the camera rig that I have, and then do XLR from this to my mic and have it feed directly into the camera. Otherwise, you'll be syncing in post, which adds time, but syncing in post is probably one of the better methods anyway.
Yeah. You know what I started out with that actually worked really well on my DSLRs? I had a Rode video mic. They're about $150.
Yeah.
And they're they already have the shock stabilizer built into them. You just stick a battery. They run forever on a battery too. That's the other thing I liked about it.
I have the same battery in my video mic Pro since Land Syndicate.
Yeah, they're awesome. And the sound isn't the greatest, and they do tend to pick up a little bit of background noise, but if you're doing DSLR video, they're awesome if you need to run and gun and move around a whole bunch.
So I was concerned with going with the 4053B hypercardioid mic because it doesn't have its own phantom power supply, or it doesn't have its own power supply. So it runs purely off 48 volt phantom. But the nice thing about the H5, any Zoom newer than the H4n, it actually uses USB for DC 5 volt. So that means I can just plug it into one of my massive power bricks, like my 15,000 milliamp power brick, and have this thing literally at an event power the Zoom and the mic for like the entire event on a single charge, which is nice. So I don't have to worry about the double A's.
So that's good. See, that's good enough for you. So you walk around with just that, with just the recorder?
Well, like the way I did CES in the past was I had my wireless mic, like my wireless Sennheiser, and then I had the receiver for that hooked to the Zoom, and then the Zoom going into the camera because I needed a way to actually take that Sennheiser signal and level it.
I'm still trying to find a good mobile audio solution for stuff like I'm going like PAX in September. Like if I'm walking around filming myself and interviewing people, like I'm trying to figure out the best solution for that. For recording myself and people around me, Yeah.
When I went to Emerald City Comic Con, what I was using was if you go with a wireless lav setup, you can switch between that and an interview mic. That works really well. Or just take like a Zoom H4n or one of the audio recorders, and you can run a wired lav up under your shirt, stick it in your pocket, and then just record audio both on camera and in your pocket, and then literally just have the software align them in post.
I've done it both ways, having wires hang off the Zoom and off of the person I'm talking to and off of myself. That got old real quick. I just was happier carrying around a stack of batteries.
Well, I was thinking that, and I don't know why I didn't think about this until now, but earlier today I was watching Logan's new video, and I saw him with his Rode at the events, and I'm just like, this guy probably has a method to his madness with that thing, because he doesn't have to plug anything into it. He's just using the PDR itself. But my H4n would not be good enough for that. I would need to find a better PDR for something like that.
Yeah, You could also, you know, what's funny is you might consider like the Zoom H5 and newer. They have detachable mic, and they actually have a really good condenser shotgun mic that you can attach to it. There's a lot of reviews about it. I was actually really impressed. I think I'm gonna get one for the bag.
I didn't know it was removable. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I'll show you guys right here on the cam. You see it on the replay, but you just push these two buttons here on the side, and the mic comes off, and then you can plug in a shotgun on there. And that in noisy environments, pointing the shotgun at the person you're talking to and then pointing back at yourself actually works really well. Linus even did that for a long time.
The mic you're pointing at yourself. You're talking about, that works pretty well.
Oh wow, no, I like that. That's sexy.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of different attachments on there. When I get my audio situated, I'll probably do a video on that. I don't know, it might interest you, Joker, it might not. But yeah, I had the H4n. My problem with the H4n is I kept having software problems with it, so that's why I ditched it. Like I would go to boot it up, and then it would go to load the SD card, and then just completely freeze.
I want to get rid of mine just because it's so slow because it's analog. I need something like digital or something.
Yeah. All right. So James Swanson again talk about Disney. Now he wants me to talk about a 3-year-old getting eaten by an alligator. This guy, James, you need a little bit of sunshine, dude.
Actually, I just got a message from Adam too about that same exact subject.
Okay, so my brother-in-law is actually security at Disney, not Disney World, but at Disneyland. So of course we don't have to worry about alligators out here. I don't know. So first it was a gorilla last month, and now it's an alligator, right? So I don't know. There are signs everywhere that say, "Beware of the alligators and do not swim in this lake." Yet the lifeguard says this kid was 10 feet out into the water when he got snatched. So where were the parents? Did the parents not keep an eye on him? Could this 3-year-old actually swim? And if the lifeguard witnessed it, was it really quick, or did the kid just go out there and before the lifeguard could say, "Hey, get out of the water," the alligator got him? That's why I don't want to talk about it, because I don't know the details. And when you start talking about things when you don't know the details, then you might as well be CNN. Nothing. True. Nothing, Jerry.
Sorry, I'm looking up something here to see if it's true.
Looking to see if something's true, or if the alligator thing is true.
No. I'm looking at something. I'm looking at microphones still.
Cyrus120Z says, Jay, what 90-degree fittings do you use with glass tube? Which model? Bits Power? You can use any 90-degree fitting as long as if it's like an integrated compression fitting like I used on my Nano S build. Just make sure that the outer diameter of your tubing matches whatever size compression that is. It's either going to be 10, 12, 13, or 16. So just make sure those match.
What Jay said. Just listen to what Jay said.
Are you just parroting me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, what are you doing over there?
No, I'm just looking at all the dude. You got me going now on this microphone thing. Like I want to zoom H6 now.
Really, you're shopping during this?
Yeah.
You said products, now Jerry's shopping.
I can't help it.
No, I think we're all using the AT2035 right now, aren't we?
No, I'm on
the 2020.
No,
he's poor people. 2020.
I'm poor people.
Ew, 2020. What is it? A USB also?
No. I'm actually running it through a tube amp, but still, I'm poor people right now for using this microphone still. Dude, how many attachments does this Zoom have? Holy crap! Dude, there's like a shotgun mic attachment. There's 2 more XLR attachments for it. There's a.
You can turn it into a 6-channel.
Oh my gosh! There's like.
Talk about the H5n.
Yeah, H5.
No. He's talking about the H5, but if you look, the H5 and the H6 both take the modules, and there's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aftermarket modules for that thing to basically pop on like different microphone types.
Yeah, I want to get that shotgun one.
And they're not super expensive either.
It's because they
the shotgun is. The stereo shotgun's $149, but still, if you compare that to like buying, a standalone like NGT2 or NGT3, I mean, that's dirt cheap. And it looks like what is that? Is that the gain knob at the bottom of each one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man.
And the mic itself has its own gain.
I need this.
And I love the inclusion of the railings to stop yourself from turning the knobs accidentally.
Yeah, it's still easy to turn though. I'll be honest. I wish it was notched. Like each setting had like a little click to it. No, it's just real smooth, so it's easy to bump still.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever used the G7 Panasonic, the camera?
No.
The wheel on the back for the shutter speed is the lightest turning wheel I've ever seen in my life. It is so easy to move this thing out of place. I'll tell you.
You blow on it and it moves like three notches.
Gain knobs like that, they should intentionally make it like impossible to move those damn things.
All the time when I'm reaching up to my button, if I want to do autofocus or something, sometimes I'll hit the shutter speed and I won't notice it until 7 or 8 shots later that I'm shooting at like 30. I'm like, oh man, I hope I wasn't shooting in motion. But yeah,
Dude, I need to get a hold of Zoom. They make some good stuff now. Holy crap. I got the H4N forever and a day ago, and I thought that was about as good as it got, but no.
Need to get a hold of Zoom. Just go buy it like I did, you cheapskate.
No, I'm poor people, Jay. I don't buy things. I acquire them.
Dude, just go to Guitar Center. They're not even expensive.
Actually,
That's what
oh yeah, Guitar Center has
Are they
them.
more than $20, huh? Joker, are they more than $20? That's expensive.
Anymore.
Yeah, they are more than $20.
I think mine was like 180 or 280. 280 some of that.
Sorry, just sell one of those extra 40-inch monitors you got laying around.
I guess I could just sell Kevlar condoms Oculus Rift here.
Isn't that a Vive?
No, this is the Rift. I got the Vive and the Rift, both in boxes.
I saw the Vive too.
Oh, I need to get these things out of the box. I'm so mad everybody messages me. It's like, I can't get a Vive, I can't get a Rift, and I got them both sitting here in boxes, and I feel like such a dick. I need to, like, take them out and use them.
When did you get your Vive? Have you used it yet?
I've had the Vive for about 2 weeks, and no, I haven't.
Wow.
I know, I'm horrible. Don't worry, there's plans.
How long have you had that set of steering wheels and pedals, sir?
You're a dick. I hate you.
Are we going on 2 years now?
All right, I'm done. Interview over. This is crap. Here, fine. There you go. Go buy one of these. There you go. See, it's awesome.
I don't even remember the name of it.
Xander likes it. Fanatic.
Oh yeah, Fanatic.
Yeah, no, it's nice though. The wheel on it looks like you could pop it off and stick it on a real car. It's all metal and Alcantara and everything. It's awesome.
I think that's the one that everyone told me to get when I had the Logitech one. They were like,
they're spendy though. Like, I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark as Logitech. They're even more expensive than like the high-end thrust master.
I think like the pedal mount bar costs more than the entire G27.
Probably. Well, you saw the pedals I have on the simulator. Did you see them when you were here?
No, I didn't. Your simulator was kind of a catch-all when I was there.
A little bit, yeah. I was under a pile of stuff, but no, just the pedal set on that's $1,500. It looks like they took it out of a race car and just stuck it on there. Everything on it's all billet cut. The pedals, everything on it. It's all billet and CNC.
All right, I'm gonna read comment. You ready?
Do it.
All right. Jared Zarkanow says, "Hey Jerry, just want to say congratulations to Xander. Glad to hear some good news after a couple of weeks of bad. I know he will go very far, especially with you as his father."
You're a dick. I hate you, Jay.
Love you guys.
I hate you. Why'd you have to ruin that for me, Jay? That was a warm, tender moment.
No, I actually had a lot of high hopes for the kid until he reminded me that you were his dad.
I really did like the subtle adjustment in tone there, Jay, to really just put the sharp jab in there. It was just a subtle adjustment, but it was perfect.
You have to own the dickhole to be a dickhole.
I don't even know how to reply to that. That was just wrong on so many levels. All right, I got a donation from Brett Loams. Said, looking forward to the 4K monitor setup video. Well, you can watch it right after this. Just built my first PC back in February with an EVGA 980 Ti classified and an i7 6800K. Now, the classified cards, those are the liquid-cooled cards, aren't they?
No.
Or is that the
Custom
no, that's
overclocking.
hydrocopper. I'm thinking hydrocopper. Sorry.
Yeah. Or hybrid.
Do you think I should sell the 980 Ti and upgrade to a non-reference 1080? I mean, that's a huge jump, isn't it? From a 980 Ti to 1080?
Well, with how far the 980 Ti has dropped in price and how much he's going to have to add to it to get a 1080, I would maybe just buy another used 980 Ti and go SLI.
I would have sold the 980 Ti like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's what I recommended last Tech Talk. I was like, everybody should sell the 980s, and Jay's like, oh, they're not worth much. And I see him posting like, oh, I actually got pretty good money from a 980s.
They weren't mine. They were Red Mist owners.
Or somebody else's. But yeah, no, you were actually surprised like that they were still going for decent money.
No, I only sold them for $300 with water blocks.
Oh, that was with water blocks on them?
Yeah.
Oh,
you sold your 980 Tis for $300?
No, I sold
with water blocks.
The owner of Red Mist's 980 Ti's. He sold all three of them 300 each with the blocks.
You got robbed.
Wow.
Robbed.
I got $450 for mine.
Jeez.
Yeah, it really depends on the card. Like my Lightning, I get emailed every day. People still wanting to pay me a stupid amount for my MSI Lightning 980 Ti.
You know what I do want to point out though is like you said that he should just get another 980 and throw it in there. But the truth is, if he can get the 1080, I'd go that route just to have one card. The whole SLI thing, even though I like it, it's honestly more headache than it's worth.
Depends on what he does. If he wants to get into VR, he might see some of the benefits of 1080. If he just wants to play some games and have good FPS, he doesn't give a shit about all the extra.
It's safe to assume everybody's going to get into VR after experiencing it. It's the future. Nothing else matters. Nothing.
You know, I do find it interesting though that AMD's motto of the RX 480 though is kind of like a entry level price point for everyone to get into VR. It's kind of like if you only have $200 to spend on a graphics card, how many people have $700 to spend on a Vive? So I think
that was one That was like one of my thoughts too when they announced it, is like, are there going to be there's going to be cheaper VR, I would hope. I don't know what OS VR is targeting.
There was quite a few VR stations from other companies set up at E3.
The thing that's bugging me about VR though is the same things that happen between AMD and NVIDIA, and that is nobody can just get together and agree on a standard. So now you have the HTC Vive being its own standard, you have the Rift being its own standard, you have the open source VR stuff being its own standard. And so you're going to have to basically decide which games you want to play, because some of them are going to be exclusive to one type of VR. And that bugs the shit out of me. I wish that they would all just get together and be like, you know what, we're going to create the DirectX of VR. You know, and everybody just jump in the pool and use the damn thing.
Maybe someday, but
that's like
asking AMD and NVIDIA to get in the same room and do something together.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen. I know why it won't happen, because of the whole, you know, trying to dominate the market and everything like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, that's what annoys me, because the people that get screwed the most are the customers. Because if you want to be able to play every game on every VR game right now, you literally have to own an HTC Vive, a Rift, and then I think most of the open source games that are out there for the open source VR solutions have a path to support the Rift or the Vive, but not everything does, and that just drives me absolutely nuts.
All right,
I cannot stand that, the exclusivity that they're already putting into these. It's already turning into like PS4 versus Xbox One.
Eric Steele, I'm going to leave this to you guys. Eric Steele says, talk about kittens.
Kittens are awesome. I'm going to get as soon as I get back from my cruise, I'm going to get two kittens. Hoping to find some Maine Coons, because I want some cats that could like kill me in my sleep. I want huge cats.
Joker, are you dog or cat?
I'm dog.
You're a dog?
You are a dog, bro.
I'm a dog person.
Is it because dogs won't eat you when you die?
No, it's because they're cute and cuddly and they love you unconditionally no matter what. Unless you like beat them or something, and then they still kind of love you.
Pugs,
at least I've heard.
Pugs
Jay, you played music over me again, didn't you, prick?
Cats just seem evil, like they're always plotting something.
Cats are always plotting something. Fun fact though, if you died with a cat will eat you to stay alive. If you die with a dog will starve.
Well, I will not debate that cats are smarter than dogs.
I'm just gonna sit here quietly, gentlemen.
Why?
I don't know. I just, I'm watching the stream and it's entertaining.
There is nothing entertaining about TechTalk. What is wrong with you? It's really awkward when you can't hear anything going on the screen.
It is.
Huh?
It really is. It really is.
It's like dead air on the radio. It's like you're driving along, right? That radio commercial finishes playing, and then the DJs don't come back, and after about 5 seconds, you're like, oh my God, someone say something, and you want to turn off the radio because the silence is deafening.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. Actually, Eric outed you. He told me to unmute the stream, and then it was abundantly clear what you were doing.
I'm not doing it.
No, you were, Jay.
No, I'm not.
Jay.
I'm not.
Fess up.
You fess up.
You fess up.
Unfocused Racing says, just want to say thanks for all the info on the lighting. Oh, you're welcome. Did we talk about lighting?
In the past, yeah.
I don't remember talking about lighting. This just in, Jay's has Alzheimer's.
No, we did. Somebody was asking us about like what they should use for like their homemade light boxes and CFLs and stuff. We were talking about like what cheap crap they could buy.
Like a year ago.
No, it seemed like it was like last week. I thought it was last week. I don't remember things very well anymore. Remember, I'm a YouTuber, so my intelligence is declining exponentially every day. Let's see, donation from Justin Easley. Oh, thank you, sir. And let's see, the last one I have here is from Philip Epperly. Did I get that right? Epperly? Hey, Jerry and Jay, happy early Father's Day. Oh,
yay.
Father's Day is coming up on this Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it this Sunday?
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be on a boat.
I gotta figure out which one of my electronics I need to give to my dad that I don't need anymore.
I'm just gonna send my dad money. It's easier just to send money.
Little Jay keeps saying stuff to me like, hey, Dad, I had an idea of what we could do for Father's Day. We could go see Finding Dory, and then we could go to McDonald's. And I'm like, sounds like a day for you, kiddo. She's like, no, but you can be with me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm glad to see that you're already thinking of me.
Hi.
So, dude.
Not much. What's up with you? I'm shopping.
Balls.
But
This should be a live stream. 3 guys shopping.
You should have never showed me the Zoom, Jay. You should have never shown me that.
This has happened before. In fact, this was how we came up with the idea of the AMD-powered toilet bidet.
I know, right? Which still needs to happen someday. That's my Hail Mary video. My YouTube's going down the shitter, and there's like not a snowball's chance in hell it's gonna revive itself. Then I'm going. That's it. It's bidet time.
It was.
Why is it every time I'm on the show you guys talk about bidets? Do you guys just wait for me when on to come around to talk about bidets?
Jerry is obsessed with clean anals or anuses, anis, right? Is it more? If you have more than one, is it ani? Jerry, you don't want to talk right now, do you?
I don't. I really don't. It always turns into toilet talk. It always turns into toilet talk.
Okay, Mr. Poop Nap.
I know. Actually, I need to revive the poop nap. I feel like I've kind of let
no, please
nap
don't.
down lately.
Did you get your bidet though, Jerry?
I do. I have it.
Is it good?
I haven't installed it yet. I'll be honest.
Oh,
I need to install it.
You gotta do the
got a
vibe
whole
first.
pile of stuff.
No, the reason I didn't want to install. No, I literally got a bidet. The people from Squatty Potty sent me one.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of some tweet I made. And so I got this bidet, but the problem is it's not a heated bidet. So it's like, do I really want ice cold Washington
We already
water
talked about
spraying
how
my
to
ass?
heat that. Just water cool a GPU, specifically an AMD one, and plumb that
Well, no,
shit
I
into your
don't want to
bidet.
burn the hairs off my ass, Jay. I just want warm water. I don't want to steam clean my butthole.
If you get off the toilet and your butthole isn't steaming, you didn't do it right.
If I use an AMD processor, I am gonna singe my butt hairs. They will be thoroughly singed.
But AMD processors actually run a little bit cooler on the core than Intel. So what now? What now?
What now?
What now?
Oh, are we talking about CPUs or GPUs here?
You said AMD CPU, so that's where I took the conversation.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I said CPU. My bad. I was implying.
It's
GPU.
like we're living one of your videos.
No, shut up, dude. I hate you. You're such a prick, man. Stop picking on me, Jay. I'm tired.
Well, you could just run that GPU in an open air test bench.
Ooh, now he's bringing Joker into the fight.
Joker lifted his eyebrows. He lifted his eyebrows. I saw that.
Oh my god. Oh.
I don't know.
Well,
I think it's that Jersey air blaming your results, not the California air.
Hey, I ran some tests after that, and I did get some hotter results switching between different cases. Some cases that would cause thermal throttling pretty much instantaneously.
Which cases?
RVZ02.
Okay.
On a blower style cooler. As soon as I put the side panel on, literally like instantly, it took it to 83 and down locked.
But you saw my video though, right?
Yes.
So I can't understand why on that NZXT case with the fans pretty much not even running, why I couldn't get it to go up even a couple of degrees.
Because you didn't try it in the oven.
I will admit that I skimmed through the video. It didn't go up not even 1 degrees.
The test bench was hotter by 1 degree than my case.
Okay, well, in my Define R5, when I tested on the 1080, it would be about a 3 degree difference.
And that's a little surprising considering the R5 is noise optimized and not airflow. So I would have expected it to go up more.
Because I noticed it would. I noticed when I was doing my testing one time, it was like running cooler than normal. I was like, "What's going on?" I had left the door off. And I tested it with the door on, door off. Define R5 was a difference of 3 degrees. When I tested on my RVZ02, I went from 74C straight to 83C in like 30 seconds, and saw it down clocked by about 100 megahertz.
I know that's really interesting.
I took some screenshots of it. I can't remember. I posted them on Twitter.
See, I tried.
Did you try it in the oven? Did you either of you try it in the oven? Because you have not tested all the scenarios, unless you tried putting the case.
I only put graphics cards in the oven to break or fix them when they're broken.
That's I will just clear up what I was saying in there. All I was saying is that I think people want testing in cases. That's really all I was ever saying. I wasn't saying that it would be so bad in a case that it would have caused thermal throttling, because I didn't really believe that would happen. I didn't think it would get that bad because I've done my own testing with the 1080. So it was really just about what I thought people wanted to see, and especially when it was a thermal throttling test.
So that's why I turned the intake fans on the S what is it, the S340, I think it is, right? That's why I turned the intake fans pretty much to 20% on the front radiator. So you have the fans running 500 RPM with a radiator in front of it, trying to simulate, say, a poor intake design like something with a lot of hard drive cages, and there's just no static pressure air getting to that card. On a card that requires the case to exhaust all of the air, which a blower style cooler usually is less affected by the case than, say, something like the Gaming X. I still can't explain why, with my test running, got an average of 1C hotter on my open air test bench versus the case with the case fans practically off. I can't explain that. I'll be honest. I did the video to try and show, like, okay, look, the difference is there, but negligible in terms of how far up it's going to go. I did not expect the results to be what they were.
So did you just take the door off, or did you test in that case and in the open air test bed?
I took it on the open air test bed, then put it in the S340.
Because I was curious, some people were making a suggestion that the horizontal versus the vertical orientation could make a difference. I didn't test that, but I should have, because I have the RVZ02, so I could literally just take the thing and put it on its side and test it horizontally and see if it makes any difference.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the argument could possibly be that the hot air is being recycled through the card.
Yeah.
But again, Jerry will tell you what, because I had the conversation with Jerry about this. You stay awake over there. I'm punching you in your face when you come down in a couple weeks. Overhead ceiling fan going on high, and an AC vent blowing down on the open air test bench. Like, I was literally trying to exacerbate. I said exacerbate, Jerry. Trying to just limit. I wanted the results for the open air test bench to just be like, this is so not fair. I wanted the open air test bench to be as good as it possibly could, but it didn't make a difference in my case, or my instance, I should say.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just the 1080, right? I mean, I tried on the 1080 and the 980 Ti. I saw it in both instances where I got thermal throttling in the other cases and instances. But in the Define R5, it was just a few degrees, not enough to cause throttling.
Jerry.
But I think my concern came up because you were testing on the 1070 and you would hit 79 degrees. So my thought was, man, if I had just put that in my case, I might get that thing up to 83. That was kind of my thought process there.
I think the one that hit 79, I believe, was my EVGA card.
Founders 1070. I thought it was the.
I had a Founders 1070, but I thought it hit 83. I could be wrong. I don't remember my results. I don't have them in front of me.
I remember it being 79, which is why I was kind of like, whoa, that's pretty close. I would like to see what that would do in a case. Because when I saw mine going by a few degrees, I was like, I bet if you threw that in a case, it might throttle. Did you have that on a custom fan curve, or was that on the stock curve? Because
everything as it ships. If I had touched a single slider, if I had touched a slider, everyone would have called shenanigans. So I left it all exactly as it ships.
I touch the sliders. I just show them what I did so that they can do it too, so that it's better.
No, you know as well as I do. Anything I do, I'm wrong. So this is the way it came out of the box.
Nerd fight, calling it nerd fight.
Forget the 1% that are just going to be haters to be haters.
Is that number only one? I thought it was more like 32.
That's 1%. Well, 1% of 600,000 is a lot more than 1% when you were at 100,000. It continues to grow.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to tell me twice. I've got my own section of Reddit now.
Yes, I know. I saw the AMD.
What is with everybody hunting you on Reddit lately?
I saw the AMD thread on you. I was like, they had me tagged in there for my quotes. I was like, is this what it's coming to now? Like everything in the comment section is going to be public record and scrutinized?
Jerry, here's what happens. You get one guy that gets a Reddit post to actually get upvoted and seen. Then you get all these people literally hunting for any mistake or anything you say that they can take out of context to keep it going. So it literally is just the mob mentality.
I've never even gone over to Reddit and looked for myself. Are there any like cool threads over there where people are like kicking me in the balls?
Nah, I think there were some people asking for your diet plan.
That's not really kicking me in the balls.
No, not really. Aaron Marcus says, "Hey Jerry, who is a good camera reviewer? I'm looking for a $500 camera for my honeymoon that can also make decent videos for my buddy's website."
Honeymoon, I got you, buddy. You want something with a good macro function?
No, you don't want that kind of detail.
I'd recommend the Sony if it wasn't such a piece of shit build quality wise. The sensor in it looks amazing. No, though some of the Sony cameras are cheaper than that. I'm not talking like the higher end 4K.
I'm talking about the RX100 Mark III. What you got?
What's the Mark? No, the Mark III is cheaper now. The Mark IV is out, isn't it?
I don't know.
What does the Mark III go for now? God, I want to see how much I can sell this piece of garbage for.
As for channels, geez, it's been. I personally like Frono's Photo, but he's more into photography. Which I know you want to do, but I like him for when it comes to like how to shoot RAW and stuff. And he's very DSLR, so I don't know if that would help you much with like a point and shoot, which is what you're going to find in that range. Samsung's got some pretty good point and shoots. Of course, Nikon, or Nikon, depending on where you are, I guess. Matt Gibbs says, can we talk about the GP102 1080 Ti Titan article on Fudzilla? Not on this channel because I don't talk about the rumors. Let's see.
We make rumors. We don't talk about them.
We don't talk about the facts. We make them up.
We make them.
Real Lunacy. Keep up the great work. Mind touching on what effect YouTube Red has on your revenue. Also, I love harassing Jerry all the time. To Jerry, did you ever buy the friggin' ticket to California? Yes, he did.
I did. Well, Jay was here. So
when are you coming? I don't even remember.
6th through 9th, if I remember right.
Are you coming Wednesday through Saturday?
Yeah, it's literally right after 4th of July. Yeah. Yep.
Well, 4th of July is on a Monday. So
no, I was coming like in the middle of the week. Remember, we planned it so that I would be there like mostly during the week.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Whatever. I'll send you the dates. I'm not gonna like call you from the airport and you're gonna be like, what?
I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be there in like an hour.
So look,
Daniel,
actually, the Sony RX100 wow, there's actually a pretty big range. International version, no warranty, $400 with warranty, $798. Yeah, it's still up there. Never mind.
Azazel says, Tech Power Up had a posting also on the GP102. Yeah, but until I get the information from NVIDIA directly, I'm not going to talk about any of it. I'll read it, and I'll, like, salivate amongst myself, but I won't do videos or topics about it. Daniel Rennie, wow, $150, says, hope this gets you lots of Starbucks. I'm going to need it when Jerry's here. Thanks for all you do.
No,
I'll send Jerry a donation as well, he says. So
Are you shitting me?
So don't get all moany. Don't get all moany. Did he?
What? Yeah, dude just sent me $150, $300. Are you shitting me, dude?
Tomorrow we're gonna get like a refund notice.
Daniel Rooney, get a lot of Starbucks. I mean, you know what the funny thing is? As soon as we end, I'm actually going to Starbucks. I'm going to meet Zach.
I haven't had a single like Starbucks in a while.
I haven't had caffeine today, and it's killing me.
I can tell your eyes are like going backwards in your
dude,
head.
I'm serious. I've already fallen asleep.
Oh, we got one for Joker here. Chris Barr says, Joker, why in Jersey I can't pump my own gas at traffic lights, need to turn right to make the left. Are people that dumb in Jersey they can't drive and pump their own gas? I can answer the gas comment, but I'm curious what he's talking about. All the right-hand one-way streets or what?
No, we have what's called jug handles in New Jersey. So on most, because everything is like highways, it's like long stretches of highway that then break off into suburban areas.
Yep.
So they don't like trust us. Yeah. So they don't make Micro Center.
Yep.
So they don't want us like making lefts across like I guess like 2 lanes of traffic or whatever. So we have jug handles where you have to go through the light, go around a loop, and then make a right.
I bet you that would actually work
almost
well in
almost every big intersection. You have to do that, which are pretty much everywhere unless you're in the suburb roads.
Is the gas thing like just like Oregon where they want to make more jobs, so they have every gas station has an attendant that comes and pumps your gas?
No, they passed a law years ago because they didn't think it was safe for us to pump our own gas.
People spilling everywhere. I know.
Well,
Oregon,
after knowing you, I can see. Come on. Can we really argue with him, Joker?
They freak out because there's only one gas station near me that's open early, and sometimes I have to go really early, and it's like 3 a.m. The guy takes forever. I walked over one day, just got out of the car and walked up to the thing, started grabbing it, so he'd come out quicker. He's like, "You no touch my pump, no touch my pump." I was like, "All right, just pump the gas." Then I gotta go.
Jerry warned me the first time we went to. Not the first time. But Jerry and I went to PDX last November, and I rented like a Tahoe and drove us down there. And we had to get gas in Oregon, and Jerry was like, dude, whatever you do, don't get out and touch the gas. Just pull up, roll down your window, and wait. And I'm like, what? Yep. So we met Soccer PJ when we were down there, and she was telling me, because she lives in Oregon, she was like, yeah, apparently they made they wanted to create more jobs. So they made it so that in Oregon, the gas stations had to buy gas station attendants to come out and pump your gas for you. It was just a way of creating more jobs. And I was like, well, I'm not tipping the guy if I can't even touch my own gas. You know, you can't force me into something, you have to tip him. But like Jerry was like, no, you don't got to tip the guy. You just tell him what you want, what grade, and how much, and that's it. He hands you back your card, and you go on your way.
Well, my first experience with that was when I just got my driver's license when I was about 17. I know I got my driver's license late. Sue me.
No, I wasn't laughing at you. I was left in the comments.
Oh, anyways, so I drive with a friend down to Oregon because we're going snowboarding. So we go down to Baker, and we're coming out of the pass scared shitless because we thought we were good drivers until we went through the pass and almost died like a dozen times. Mm-hmm. We're on fumes coming out of the pass. And there's one gas station just in the middle of nowhere. There's no like town, just a gas station. We pull into the place and there's nobody to be found. Lights are on. The place looks deserted, but the pumps were lit up. So we get out of the car, and he's undoing the gas cap, and he reaches over and grabs the thing from the pump, and I'm sitting in the passenger side of the car, and I see this guy just come barreling out of the building, screaming bloody murder at him. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, oh, shit, this guy's going to kill us, because, I mean, he looked pretty rough, right? And
anyone that comes running towards Jerry, he assumes is going to kill them.
Well, it's a good assumption to have. Trust me, it's better to have that assumption than not.
Just like Chicago.
It's no coincidence that guy sounded like the "you took my job" guy. Right?
Dude, he was a total.
What are you doing? You took my job.
And no shit, he walks up to the car and he sees the plates and he's like, "Oh, you're from Washington." He's like, "I get so many of you some bitches think you come down here and pump your own gas." And he's like, the whole time he's pumping the gas in the car, he's just like reading us the riot act about how stupid it is that we have to pump gas in Washington. Like that we pump our own gas. And I was like, okay, well, we need gas really bad, so we're just gonna sit here and just like listen to this guy's story and tell him how much we love him.
So
it was the
weirdest
weirdest
thing.
thing.
To pump my gas.
It was bizarre. Dude.
It was the weirdest thing when I was there with that trip, though, Jerry, having someone pump my gas. Because we have
weird.
a couple of those stations left here in California, but it's like $1.50 extra a gallon because it's considered like a full service station. But yeah.
But
no,
it's
in
different if
California,
you pull in and it's implied full service. But when you pull into a place where it's like, yeah, there's pumps and you're used to getting out of your car and doing shit, it's weird. It's just really weird.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
I'm going to call, if you are an Oregonian and you are watching this right now, I am going to call for a revolt. Everybody try to pump your own gas tomorrow and see what happens.
So in California, we have a gas out, which is where they get mad about the highest gas, because artificially here in California is a different gas market. We don't go anywhere near the national average. So we, like every year, there's this like organized gas out where nobody will go buy gas. I say in Oregon, you have an organized gas in where everyone pull up at the same time and grab those handles.
Do it.
Grab those handles.
And when the old guy with missing his teeth comes running at you screaming, just get one of your friends to kind of like divert his attention.
Stream is dead, they said.
It's still up on my end.
It went down for like a second and it came right back.
Oh, I've got 0 drop frames.
No, I think it was on YouTube side. I saw it. It was like buffering for like a couple seconds, then it just like came back.
Oh.
So
Whenever it buffers, DDoS.
we're all getting DDoS. No.
Aye. Well,
What do you say? What do you say we wrap it up so I can go spend this guy's $150 on Starbucks?
Okay, well I got one more comment here. Andrew Joy says, "Hey guys, while Jerry is down there, is there going to be a meetup? Do you want to do one?"
Down there? Yeah, no, I'd love to do a meetup. I think that's actually a good idea.
If you're coming home on Saturday, it probably won't be much of a meetup because the weekend is when people do that.
Well, here, let me go check the dates. Hold on. Here then, stand by.
Geez, here we go.
What was I flying? Alaska? I think it was Alaska or something. I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't pay attention to your shit.
I don't even remember which airline I like booked. Like, this is gonna be a weird flight.
Jerry, I just want to say 10 out of 10 for that thumbnail today.
You like that? Laying on the desk?
I have it paused right now. That's you guys interrupt me. I had to pause you on the desk. I was ready to go, and then you guys pulled me in. So
You're welcome.
I was my second go for today. Now I had video.
You're welcome.
It was better than earlier.
You know what? I am flattered. I am absolutely flattered. Next time I'll do it with my shirt off.
Nice.
Let's see. Okay, no, wait. Why don't I have...
Reminded me of Kramer.
I still like what you said, Jerry, before the stream. You know, like a lot of people were commenting on, "Wow, that desk is strong."
Yeah, no, like there's a ton of comments on that video. It's like, hey, no offense. It starts off with no offense. It's like, damn, that desk is strong.
It's not a desk;
Like,
it's a kitchen table.
It's a kitchen table. Oh, it even makes it sound worse when I say that.
Well, I thought that too with the 3 monitors plus you. I was like, my desk would be split in half if I.
Yeah,
did
and this
that.
thing's like not even under stress. It's like
If
it's like,
anyone did that, if a small child did that on my desk, it would split in half because it's IKEA crap.
Yeah, I've got an IKEA desk too, and I know that the adjustable
but this
legs
is
are at their
IKEA.
limit.
It's just a dinner table. It's an IKEA dinner table.
Yeah, the legs are the worst part. Those things will fall off before anything.
Yeah, that's why I like bolted it to the wall because the thing would like tilt back and forth if I didn't. Why can I not see my flight? This is weird.
It was canceled.
Oh wait, hold on here. Ready? No. Oh, here we go. No, I found it. Yeah, July 6th, and then I come back. Doesn't say. I don't know.
Did you book a return flight?
Why does it just have my departure? I don't know if I did or not now.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on. Did I seriously book
I
it one
need to
night?
know when you're leaving. I cannot have you having an open-ended ticket.
This is a little weird. No, it literally... Wait, here, let me look at my confirmation letter here. No, we're good. We're good. I come back on July 9th, Saturday.
Okay. What time?
5:30.
We might be able to do a morning meetup.
No, I think we should. That'd be cool. Like just, yeah, go get
It'd be
breakfast.
like we went to Mock's boarding house and like 4 people came and they all came to see me.
Yeah, the problem... Yeah, just like when I come down there and everybody knows me at Micro Center and you go there like every other day.
So, dude, I went to E3 and obviously at E3, even though it's a lot of console games there, a lot of people obviously recognized me. But what's funny is I went to Best Buy by my house afterwards to go get Ant-Man because I saw Civil War and I'd never seen Ant-Man. So I'm like, oh my God, I guess I need to see this movie now because I didn't realize he was going to be included in Civil War. And I get out of my car I think more people recognize my car more than me because I got out of my car and as I shut the door, I'm like walking through the parking lot and this guy's driving the other way and he goes, Jay! And I'm like, I jumped. He scared me. I jumped. I'm like, what the heck? And I looked at him and I had this deer in headlights look on my face. And he's like, hey, love your channel, bro. And I'm like, okay, hey, nice to meet you. And he just kept driving along. Scared the shit out of me because he screamed it like right next to me. And then
I would do the same thing.
I walk into the Best Buy and there's like the security guard there, right? That checks all the bags as you leave kind of thing. And he was like, hey, JayzTwoCents. And I'm like, hey man, nice to meet you. You know, he's like, hey, love your videos. You know, the usual like canned response fans kind of give you when they meet you. And then I go over there and I'm sitting there looking at the movies and the Windows rep over at the PC section walks over. He's like, hey, JayzTwoCents, right? I'm like, yep. And he's like, I just want to say I love your channel. I'm like, dude, this was like 3 times since I walked in here. And I never get recognized at my personal Best Buy except for like 1 time. And I'm like, shit, I need to move now. No, I'm
that was so weird when I came down there. I mean, we were a lot smaller, but when I went to Micro Center, that guy noticed me. Was it Micro Center? What is it? What was that place?
Yeah, it was Micro Centers. As we were walking out, the guy was like,
yeah, we were walking out, like, Barclays. You're just like, pfft. like nobody noticed you, and it's like the place you go to, like it's like your store that you go to.
Well, to be fair, that was like right as you had hit 100K, and I was still at like 70K.
It was
now,
a freak.
If I go to Micro Center now, I get recognized by more of the employees than the people shopping there, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. The weird ones though are like the one I told you about when you came up here and we were going to Maggiano's to have dinner.
Mm-hmm.
The guy just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're Barclays," and I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And he just literally looked down and just walked away really fast. Like,
It is
and there was
funny.
nobody else around.
No,
like,
I have noticed. Like most people that I will meet, they recognize me, and then I confirm that I am who they think I am. Then they won't make eye contact. I don't know if they're just like I wear the dick hole so well. They're like, oh my god, he's going to be mad at me. But
yeah.
So Coconut Monkey, the day we came home from Seattle, we get home. He's already here because he was house sitting for me. I wasn't going to leave this place unattended. I wanted him to get murdered and no one take my stuff. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But anyway, we come home and I'm like, man, I need to eat. We hadn't eaten all day. It was like 6 o'clock at night. We go to Mod Pizza, and it's about a 15-minute drive there. We go inside, we get our pizza, we're walking out. And as we're walking out, this guy's walking in, and he's like, JayzTwoCents and Coconut Monkey. And I'm like, yep, hey, what's up? We chatted for a little bit. And then we go to Starbucks, and I get recognized at Starbucks. So it's weird that I'm getting recognized right near my house now, which is not something I'm used to. If I go to Best Buy, okay, maybe. Fry's or Micro Center, guaranteed. E3, that was kind of a given. But to be recognized now in all kinds of weird places by my house, that's kind of...
I've been recognized at my house like 5 times now. Like,
well, when you're outside mowing the lawn shirtless.
No, the weird one was
attention.
when I was in my garage and a little kid, he was probably like, I want to say like maybe 11 or 12 years old. He's riding by on his bike and he turns to me. He's like, are you Barclays? He's like, yeah. And then he's like, you live here? And I was like, maybe. And he just kind of looked at me and it's like, and then he looked in the garage. Nope. There's like 3D printers on racks and everything. He's like, okay. And then he rode back and forth like for 10 minutes and kept peeking in the garage. And I was like, yeah, I didn't consider that like a huge threat.
See, I'd be really nervous if someone found out where I lived exactly.
Well, everybody knows like it's easy to find out where all my information. I don't
Joker,
conceal
did you
anything.
see my tweet about a month and a half ago with the guy that came straight up into my property, like into my garage? Now, if you saw the way my house was arranged, you'd know to get into my garage where the car is, you've got to walk through this like side yard, in through like where the carport area is, and into the garage. It's not like, hey, I'm on the sidewalk and I can see you. No, it's like I'm walking up into your space to come and say hi to you, which was really awkward. I go into the kitchen and get something to drink. I come back outside. I'm working on the car. I come back into the garage and there's a guy standing in there. And I'm like, can I help you? And he's all, oh yeah, no, this car is really, really nice. It looks so much better in person. And I'm like, do I know you? He's like, yeah, you're Jay, right? I'm like, who wants to know? He's like, no, I was mowing the lawn next door. He like worked with the gardeners. He's like, I was mowing the lawn next door and recognized your car. I was like, it was so cool. I just wanted to come over and say hi. I'm like, well, you know, it's kind of rude to come walking all the way up into someone's property like that. I said, you're kind of lucky I didn't. You know, what I basically told him was like, if I'm not seeming nice right now, there's a reason why. So he was like, no,
at least he had an okay story. At least he didn't like find your address and come find you, like come walk into your house.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have to actually bail.
Well, make sure you're wearing your parachute.
My friend is literally at Starbucks right now, and I'm not there.
Your Starbucks is 5 minutes
He literally
away.
just messaged me. He's like, I'm here. And I was like, oh, crap. I wasn't watching the clock.
It is time to go anyway.
Before I shut it down, anyways, everybody go watch my video. Thank you, everybody,
No,
for
watch
the,
this video. Blah,
the
blah,
donations
blah.
and
Blah, blah,
engagement.
blah, blah.
And,
Don't watch this video.
Oh, no. I have some news you'll
Watch
be
this video
interested
if you like
in, Jay.
mediocrity.
Jay.
What?
Jay, this is actually dead serious.
Oh.
You know our homegirl, Simone?
Yeah.
Simone, she's going to be on Colbert this week.
I heard that.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. It's crazy that like she's. I want to tweet her and be like, "Remember the first show you were on? Remember the first
how
show
cool
you were
is that
on?"
though? We were like the first show she was on.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously wasn't the only one that like discovered her, but I was the one who put her in touch with Norm and stuff. And I thought that was just really cool that she like took that tiny little foothold, and now she's like co-hosting Tested and going on Colbert. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to her. Everybody definitely go over and let her know how excited you are to see her on there on Twitter. She's awesome.
Someone in chat says Jay is gay. I know, right? I keep trying to convince my wife that I'm gay, but she just won't believe me.
She just won't listen. She won't listen. You can't fight her
Very
off.
happy. I'm very happy.
Can't fight her off.
All right. Anything you want to say, Joker, before we end this mediocrity?
No, thanks for having me on, and I guess publicly burying the hatchet, I guess, in some way.
Publicly burying the hatchet. There was no hatchet.
No,
People
dude,
like
it's
to
actually
create.
worse.
Well, there was a public issue. I'm glad. Hopefully, people will stop giving me shit. And I never deleted my comment, by the way. I never deleted.
Whatever
not
you
there.
guys do, after the stream.
Which are you talking about? The original comment?
The 1070 one where you were like, Jay, do you think it's fair?
Totally there. It's totally there.
Dude, I went looking through every comment. Jerry, go. Just go. All right.
No, I just wanted to say, whatever you guys do after the stream, please do not go tweet Joker. Okay, do not flood him with tweets. Whatever you do not.
Well,
go
we
just tweet
do
him
have to
randomly.
end the stream right now because at Joker Slunt is he's got to go, so we've got to end the stream.
We got in the street at Joker Slunt on.
No, it's not. No, it's Joker Productions.
Yeah,
It's just Joker. It's actually Joker Productions on YouTube. Give me shit on there, not on Twitter.
No, we
No,
don't
go
wanna
to
give
Twitter.
YouTube
Blow up
followers.
his Twitter.
It's a little too soon for that.
You don't tell me how to annoy you.
All right, guys. Until next week.
All right. See ya.